Terrific. Good evening, everybody. My name is Michael Schenkel, and I am the chair of ANC 2C, and I'd like to welcome you to our July 14th community meeting this evening. Um, I would like to start with our roll call and introductions, and we will start with let's go with Nancy in 2C02.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Nancy Groth, 2C02, which I call Soma, south of Mass Ave, which is Thomas Circle, Scott Circle, K Street, and Black Lives Matter Plaza.
Thank you, Nancy. Thomas,
Hi,
official.
this is Thomas Lee, Commissioner for ANC 2C03, which is Penn Quarter and the National Mall.
Thank you, Thomas. And Commissioner Swart.
And I'm Commissioner Swart of ANC 2C04, a portion of Chinatown City Center in downtown. And I'm not sure why my video is not showing. But
Yes, you have a big slash over you. I don't know what's going on there.
I don't either. Had it on blur and not sure about this. So I'll try to get that going correctly.
Terrific. Thank you for that. And my name is again Michael Schenkel, and I'm the commissioner for 2C01, which is Penn Quarter in Chinatown. I'd like to welcome you all to our meeting. We do have 4 commissioners present this evening, so we do have quorum for a duly noticed meeting. And I'd like to quickly just review the agenda with you. I think this is the correct one. Tonight's agenda, for those of you who are joining us online, you may access our agenda at anc2c.us. That's our internet site. That's anc2c.us. Tonight's agenda, we're going to start with some administrative items from our last meeting and approval of the agenda. We do not have any special presentations this evening. We want to move then to community announcements, which we'll hear from the various MPD and WMATA police departments, also the mayor's office, Councilmember Pinto's office, and the downtown DC bid. I was asked to provide an update regarding the loggia at the MLK Library and a meeting that I attended, and some new developments that have started there on July 6th. We do have 2 events that impact the community. This will be a consent agenda, and the commissioners will consent or reject these items. We do have, I believe we have 4 APCA license to review this evening. We are going to be, we've been asked to remove item number 3 on our agenda, which is the facilities concession application, which has been withdrawn. We also have under transportation and public transportation, we have 3 items to review this evening. And then we have 2 items finishing out our evening under other business, which includes a resolution that's being brought forward, and a discussion related to 1009 11th Street Northwest, and a shelter posting that has gone up there. I also have that was the published agenda for you all. I also have Commissioner Lee requesting that we um, um,
Write a letter of condolence.
write a letter of condolence for the
World Central Kitchen.
World Central Kitchen. Thank you. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Got it. Are there any other items to be added to the agenda this evening?
I can
If there
think
are,
of no other.
if there are no other, I see you, Jim.
I see you too.
Okay, you're there. With that being said, is there a motion to approve the agenda as revised?
You make the
Second.
motion, we approve this agenda.
Second.
Approved by Commissioner Swart, seconded by Commissioner Groff. Our agenda is approved. Commissioner Groff did distribute our June meeting minutes for review and corrections. And commissioners, do you have any revisions or corrections to those minutes?
I sent them out a couple weeks ago and haven't heard back. So
Yes,
I have none.
I have none either.
I have none.
I'd like to move that we approve the June 2026 minutes as presented. Is there a second?
I
Second.
second.
Seconded by, I'm going to call Commissioner Lee on this one, just by the quickness of his hand. Commissioner Lee is seconded that. All those in favor, will you please acknowledge? So I have 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. Any, just to be sure, any nays or abstentions? Okay, so 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. So the minutes are approved. Commissioner Lee has asked us to move the treasurer's report to the end of the agenda. I'm sorry I did not do that earlier.
No worries. I'm working on it still.
Put those right down here. Okay, so I just have to remember that. Okay, I will stop sharing. Is there under other administrative matters?
yes,
Have no updates.
yes,
Commissioner Groff, go.
yes. The ever popular, evergreen item, advertising for our admin position.
I have not done that.
Yes. I will also acknowledge that I have not uploaded quite a number of past minutes to the website. I need to be retaught how to do that. So, Chair Schenkel, if maybe it would, rather than trying to resurrect the video of when we did it before, maybe we could just set up a time to learn, show me how to do that, and also how to post the video to the website as well.
Absolutely. I'd be happy to do that.
Next, since receipts being uploaded to the OANC portal seem to get their dog must eat our homework a lot. I just have an idea that when people submit receipts to Treasurer Lee, if you would copy me on that, I can make sure that I will upload them to the OneDrive portal for 2C, just so that there's a backup copy of everything. If people will, if you copy me, I will keep track of the pieces. And then finally, I'm now watching the 2C at anc.dc.gov email account. And I don't know why DDOT is asking 2C, the commission, to review permits for, sidewalky stuff and stuff. But I don't have that password. And they tried to tell me on the phone that it was, they just kept sending me my own 2CO2 password. Does anybody know that? And who should respond to those?
As far as I'm aware, there is not a 2C
Okay.
login for the top system. Is that what you're
Yes, the
yeah,
TOPS system. But the
the
TOPS system is sending emails to 2C
yeah,
asking for review of things.
right.
And I, from my own password, I can't even see what they are to forward them to whichever one of us is in their SMD.
Got it. I am not aware of how to correct that.
All right.
We can reach out to GDOT and figure that out.
I will continue to try to figure that out. Okay, thank you. That's all of administrivia for me.
Any other items, commissioners?
No,
Okay, then we will move forward. Do we have anyone from MPD2 on with us this evening?
Yes,
Hey, Lieutenant Garvin, how are you?
I'm good. How's everybody?
Good. You are in your street clothes. We don't see you very often in your street clothes.
Yes. I'm out I'm an assistant with my dad, so yes. But I didn't wanna I wanna make sure that I made the meeting. I've been sending so many updates out just in case you guys had any questions.
For which we are very grateful
Yes.
for many things. I will send you shout outs after you have your presentation.
Okay. Um so right now we did have a busy month of ADWs. Majority of the ADWs were either our unhoused population were involved, or some individuals who experienced mental health issues. We'll be dealing with core behavioral health, so we can kind of connect and try to figure out a way to address these mental health issues. As you know, in law enforcement, we are more of a reactionary tool. We come and we make the arrests where needed, but that's not really addressing the underlying issues, unfortunately. I'll speak on the robbery that Commissioner Grove wanted me to speak on in reference to the complainant who was in a wheelchair. She reported that an individual demanded and took money from her. Um, our members were able to locate the suspect, matching the description, and they had possibly identified the individual, and they arrested him. So I truly hate hearing about crimes like this. I mean, we don't want anybody to get robbed, especially someone who was in a wheelchair. Secondly, I spoke on the overdoses. So on yesterday, we had 5 individuals down and unconscious from a suspected substance in the 1300 block of New York Avenue. That tends to happen maybe every few months. May have 2 or 3. We have drugs out there. We call it like a bad batch of, probably inappropriate to say that, but it's when we have so many people who OD. So we made contact with our narcotics enforcement unit, who went out there today, conducted an investigation, and they did arrest 2 people for distribution of K2 substances. So this is an ongoing battle over there in the 13th block of New York Avenue. I see Lucas on the line. He's aware of all of the arrests that we've made over the last couple of years over there. We locked the dealers up. We try to get stay away orders from that area, to the point where most of our officers know if they are barred, or if there's a stay away order and we do see them, we do rearrest them. So does anyone have any questions about anything? I'll take them at this time.
The people who unfortunately overdosed yesterday,
Yes.
do we know that they overdosed on K2? It's been a hot minute since I've heard about K2 issues. It's bad. I guess it's always been here, but is this an uptick in K2 all of a sudden?
I'm not sure if it's an uptick, and it is unclear to me that if they overdosed on K2 or not. But I do know that at the 1300 block of New York, there have been arrests made for different various drugs, heroin,
Okay.
crack cocaine, of course, and of K2. So it's unfortunate because there is a vulnerable population right there, seeking, help from the shelter. I mean, from the church. I'm sorry, as well as 901 G Street where the MLK library is. And these dealers, are using that to make money as well, and they are benefiting off the vulnerable population.
Um,
I do have one question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
okay, I just have a couple of words of appreciation for MPD and for Lieutenant Garvin specifically. That's totally amazing that you were able to catch the suspect in the robbery snatch. So thank you very much. And as I've said in the emails, and we have an item at the end of our agenda, I'm gonna follow through to try to make sure that they're charged with the additional penalty for either financial or physical crime against a vulnerable adult. So thank you. The other shout out is thank you so much. The ADW chair at the bottom line over on I Street, that's like 17th and I. When I emailed you over the weekend after I talked to their general manager, I'm amazed you got your sergeant there like the next day to talk to them about the exterior cameras and stuff. So thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
That was like amazing fast work. Appreciate it.
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Swart?
Lieutenant Garvin, if I could just follow up with you on the situation with the 5 individuals who overdosed.
Mhm.
Do you know at this time their housing situations?
I do not know their housing situations, unfortunately. I know three, once Narcan was deployed, three did regain consciousness on the scene, and two were medically transported for further evaluation. But I'm unaware of their housing situation.
Right. And for me, that is a real issue in that um, unfortunately they'll just be back out on the road again using the same drugs. And it'd be great if we could, since we have a situation of a lot of drug use in the downtown DC area, if we could indeed find some decent housing for people and treatment as well.
Lieutenant Garvin, I have a question for you. The As you're aware, the library implemented some new policies related to the loggia, and your officers have been diligent being out there on G Street. I'm wondering if if from your perspective and your officer's perspective, if that new policy that they are now enforcing, if that has improved the situation from your perspective or not really.
I would come back in about 30 more days. I feel like it's still early.
Yeah.
So I would give it a little bit more time to see exactly the impact.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Any community members have any questions for Lieutenant Garvin? Okay. Thank you very much, Lieutenant. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for taking time to join us while you're out of the office.
Thank you. And thank you guys for your prayers for my father.
Yes.
He's doing better, so I appreciate it.
Excellent.
Thank
Excellent. That's good to hear.
you. Good to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have anybody from MPD 2 with us this evening?
MPD 1.
Oh, what MPD 1? MPD 1. I'm sorry, MPD 1. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Captain, yay.
Hey, good evening, everybody. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes.
Hey, good evening, Captain Herbenak here from
Hey,
1
Captain.
Lead. I don't have my new lieutenant to introduce you this time. She'll probably be on next month. She's on midnights. Her name is Lieutenant Isla Wiggins. She'll be taking over PSA 101 from Lieutenant Tutt. So we're excited to have her. Unfortunately, you're stuck with me for the foreseeable future. So, but needless, um, so just a couple items I want to cover over the last 30 days. We unfortunately did have the homicide in the 600 block of H Street Northwest. That case stemmed from one of the establishments there. We're working with ABCA to follow up on some investigative steps there. At this point, it does look like the suspects and the complainants knew each other from inside the establishment, and that it started from a fight. We do have some suspects that we're looking into, but that case is still open. We did have a couple robberies throughout PSA 101. They tended to be over. We're seeing an increase in activity over New Jersey Avenue and H Street Northwest. So I think it's a little bit outside the ANC, but that's where we're tending to see more activity. Fortunately, the activity after school every day, the juvenile activity we've seen has gone down significantly since school has been out. So we've kind of changed our posture as far as juvenile enforcement to be later in the day. We fortunately do have the juvenile curfew zones that we'll be using throughout the summer when we learn about any large gatherings expected. We used them more recently in Navy Yard and down in the RFK area last weekend. But we definitely are ready to use them in Chinatown should we find out there's going to be any large gathering or team takeovers. And I think everybody's pretty familiar with how those work. The normal curfew is 11 to 6 a.m. for anybody under the age of 17. And then the juvenile curfew zone allows it to be extended till 8 p.m. In the certain specific areas. And we will put signs up for those. That being said, Commander Hall has reinstituted our mountain bike TAC unit. We've been able to work around some staffing issues and get that unit back up and running. So that will work similar to ones that we've had in the past that were pretty effective in the Chinatown area. That involves a group of about 5 to 6 officers on mountain bikes. They'll stick together for most of the time, and then they'll go into areas where we're experiencing some issues, various parts of the day. So they're going to work Tuesday through Saturday, with a couple variations on days off, but they'll be here for Friday and Saturday, which are our busiest days in the PSA and ANC part of 1D. So we're going to have those guys out there throughout the summer and hopefully into most of the fall. They may taper off as the winter goes on, but we've had a lot of success with them, a lot of success with groups like that because they've been able to kind of get into those areas where we're having issues. They're a little lower profile, a little bit more like in the mix, so they're able to kind of see things going on. But those will be out. That started last week, and they will definitely be in Chinatown as the summer wears on. That being said, I'm happy to answer any questions. Just a quick note on our property crime, though I do want to give a slight update on that. It's remained about steady, hasn't gone down, hasn't gone up too significantly. We've seen a slight increase in our theft from autos, just a handful of additional theft from autos. I know we've had some people report them at 4th and K, 5th and K, kind of in the Mount Vernon Triangle area. So we'll definitely be looking at see if we can put cameras up there, see if we can get some increased patrol up in those areas. Overall, our motor vehicle theft is down. So we only had 2 motor vehicles stolen in the PSA for the last 30 days. So that's, while 2 is still an unacceptable number, significantly down over the years. So we'd like to see that decrease. So no targeting in parking garages or anything like that. Our overall thefts are up just a couple handful, 2, 3 thefts over the last month. And we've had no burglaries, thank goodness, of businesses or residences. And that being said, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. Commissioners, do you have any questions for Captain Herbeck? Okay, I do see a hand up from one of our community members, Mr. Marks.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner Schenkel, and thank you, Captain, for your service. I'm Howard Marks. I live at the Residence at Gallery Place at 7th and H. 192 units, 300 people live here. So as you pointed out, murder one, or whatever it is fortunately very rare in our community, very rare, fortunately. So it's shocking to hear that this happened around the corner from where we live. Could you give us more color on this? You mentioned this was a quote unquote inside job. Does that mean people worked there or they were customers? And what was the weapon? What was used to commit this terrible crime?
Yeah, I can't give too much more information other than that the individuals came out of an establishment in the 600 block of H Street. It was the weapon was a handgun or a gun, not necessarily a handgun, a gun that was used. There was only one person struck, and unfortunately, he succumbed to his injuries.
So, if I understand what you're saying, Captain, is they occurred outside the liquor store, not inside the liquor store. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah, it didn't happen in any establishment. It wasn't, I didn't say liquor store necessarily, just an establishment within the 600 to 700 block of H Street, and is where they came from. It happened on the sidewalk and actually happened on 6th Street, is the address we're carrying. But like I said, it didn't start and finish on 6th Street. It started inside an establishment on H Street.
Yeah. What time of the day did this occur?
It was later at night. I don't have the exact time in front of me, but I believe it was after midnight.
Okay. Well, thank you. That's all the questions I have. Thank you. Thank you, Captain.
I think, Commissioner, I think somebody asked in the chat and answered about the National Guard.
Please, if you could. Thank you.
Yeah. The question is, the National Guard travel in groups of 4 to 6, and they socialize with one another. They're supervised by the National Guard, and they have a rank structure, and then they have a commander that's in charge of the entire kind of deployment. We are in communication with them, and I think the decision to have them in groups of 4 to 6 is their command's decision, not necessarily a city or an NPD decision. And I think that's just the way they've decided to deploy their units. They do coordinate with us, so we're able to kind of ask them for help in additional areas when we're having large events or large scale events. So, but their orders do come from the National Guard themselves.
Great. Thank you. And Commissioner Groth.
And I guess the question is, do they help? And yes, they do help in some ways. I think we talked about this in the NOMA bid meeting earlier today. They have arrest powers, but the arrest powers, they don't use them, but they do stop individuals if they see a crime going on and hold them for NPD to take the arrest.
Thank you for that. Commissioner Groth?
Yes, Captain, thank you for your service. And I'd like to follow up on Mr. Marks's questions, but not about this specific incident necessarily, where you can't discuss the details. But I've had in my SMD over the last year and a half, 3 or 4 different shootings outside nightclubs very late at night. So this is my naive boomer generation question. How does this happen when the nightclub has security that checks people for weapons and the shootings never happen inside the nightclubs? They happen after closing, when there's a big group of inebriated people milling around, a dispute flashes into violence, multiple guns sometimes, or single. It's always outside the club after people have left. So I'm sorry, this is my stupid question. Do they go back to their car to get their weapon? Where was the weapon? Did they make it through security and back out, and then it didn't happen until they were gone? Or
yeah, no, not a stupid question at all. Because you're right, there should be weapons abatement at most. A lot of the ABC or now ABCA agreements with the ANC or neighborhoods tend to have weapons abatement and security. So not a stupid question at all. And if there is This instance didn't, but if there is ever a crime in which a weapon is found to be inside a club, that is definitely something that we notate. So every time, I don't have a lot of night spots in 101 in my PSA or my sector, but a lot of every time there's a crime of violence, a robbery, or an assault, or unfortunately homicide, that's at all tangentially or directly related to a nightclub, I do what's called a fact-finding letter request to ABCA, and I write a letter to them saying, "Hey, I'm concerned because of this crime," and this is sent from my commander as well. "I'm concerned about a crime that occurred nearby this establishment. We would like you to investigate the establishment and make sure they're in compliance with all their agreements, because you guys, when somebody applies for an ABCA license, the ANC often has specific requirements. So we want to make sure those are being followed." In this case, I'm not speaking about this case specifically, but I will say in general, in most of the cases that I've dealt with, at least in my tenure, the weapons are stored in a vehicle and people go back to the vehicle and get the gun.
Okay.
So that's why.
That answers the general practical question
Yeah.
that most of the shootings in my SMD are across the street on the 1800 block of M Street Northwest, and the clubs and nightclubs are in the DuPont Commission, where they have settlement agreements with every licensee for this reason, and so that everyone has to play by the same kind of ground rules. But yes, okay. Sometimes it's blocks away, sometimes it's right out front, sometimes it's across the street, but
Yeah, and that's definitely why I have my street crimes, my crime suppression team. One of their big tasks when we have those nightclub spots, again, we don't have a lot in 1D, but when we do, that's why we have them checking vehicles. And some people are very brazen and will lead we've recovered, 1D itself is actually leading the city for gun recoveries. We've recovered 164 guns, my crime suppression team.
wow.
Yeah, a lot of guns. So they're working really hard, and that is definitely one of the major avenues in which they do traffic stops, and through vehicle checks is where we get a lot of weapons that way.
Great.
Thank you.
And I do have one question.
Yes.
Kevin Herman, are you finding that the later these clubs stay open, the more likely there are to be trouble such as this?
I will say, generally in my experience, the later means more drinking time. So more drinking time usually means less intelligent decisions by people, generally speaking. But I think the biggest thing is that I think the ANC and MPD and ABCA have to watch establishments very closely, because it's very easy, like the commissioner said, for people not to play by the same rules, not to follow their settlement agreements, not to follow. And I find that once you're not following your settlement agreements or your security plans that are in place, oftentimes that's when things start to happen. I used to work in Adams Morgan and U Street as a lieutenant, and that was one thing. So my officers, midnight officers, actually very good on doing spot checks, because ABCA or ABC locations have to allow an officer in to do a spot inspection to make sure the license is being displayed, that there's an ABC manager on duty, that the security plan is being followed. So we quite frequently have officers who go and do those spot checks, especially on places where we have issues.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much for that. And Brian from Councilmember Pinto's office has put in the chat for folks some information related to the mayor's nightlife task force and some of the activities that they do in the U Street and DuPont Circle area, which may be something that is considered for portions of 2C. So thank you for that, Brian. And thank you, Captain Herbeck. We appreciate you being here tonight and providing us with your update.
Thank you.
And thank you also for your officers who are assisting in PT2. I know we kind of share up to Ninth Street, but I see your officers helping at the MLK library across the street and things like that. So thank you for that as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move forward to Metro Transit Police, and we have Lieutenant Barga who is with us. Barja?
Yes, that's me. I'm going to keep my video off because I'm on the road. I'm
Sure.
pretending to be a sergeant today. So,
Okay.
so for the gallery station, we have kind of like the other commanders have briefed out on. We've had a little bit of an uptick in crimes of violence there. We are responding by adjusting our deployment a little bit. A lot of the things that have been happening have been on the Green Line trains and platforms. So we are moving some folks down to that level. We're also working with the surrounding stations to put extra presence on the Green Line to try to abate some of those difficulties that we're having. Also of note, a lot of the issues that we're having do involve groups of juveniles. Most notably after the hype events that the city puts on, these kids end up back in the metro system, kind of running amok. We do have a team that's run by one of my fellow lieutenants, whose only job on Friday and Saturday nights is to kind of track these groups of kids in the system, follow them, keep them in line, or essentially kick them out of the system. So that has been a great help. I can definitely say, this past Friday night, we did have one incident pretty late in the evening, or actually it was more like early in the morning. So it would have been Saturday morning. But it was a group that had left that late night hype, event, that made their way up to the station and started causing some trouble. So it is something that we're keeping an eye on. We are, like I said, adjusting our deployment. We're using, we have our allied officers as well as National Guard in the station. So we communicate with them and kind of coordinate with them on, okay, well, we're going to be here, so can you guys keep an eye on this area? But we can't be everywhere at once, so crime does happen, unfortunately. Outside of that, there isn't a lot else to report out on. I see a couple hands up. I'm ready for questions.
We'll start with the commissioners. Commissioner Groth.
Yes. Hi, Lieutenant Varga. Thank you for your service also. I was what video was posted on social media of an incident that happened Wednesday, June 10th at the Columbia Heights metro station, where a sizable number of MPD officers were detaining a young man, and there was a very large number of National Guards officers surrounding the MPD officers. And the person taking the video filmed herself being banned by Metro police from the station. And she was told that she was now banned from Metro. Obviously, I'm not asking you to necessarily comment on that, but my understanding was that banning from Metro was an extreme last resort for people who had multiple violent assaults on passengers or Metro staff while in the system, that was what banning was for. And this is a completely protected First Amendment right to film the police. How can my constituents find out what the actual rules are so that they can educate themselves on whether they could be banned from Metro?
Sure. So the Metro banning thing has evolved over the last, I would say, year or so. For quite a while, what you were describing is 100% accurate. It was a court-ordered ban, and it was for frequent flyers of multiple assaults at multiple stations. One of the other things we would regularly get bans for were things like sexual assaults or indecent exposures. We had frequent flyers for that. We do now have a system in place that's been approved by all three jurisdictions, where if somebody commits a crime of violence or the aforementioned indecent exposure or sexual battery type crimes. We issue them a ban, and the ban is from the entirety of the metro system. So the first offense is a 45-day ban. After that, it's a 90-day, then 180, and then we have a 365-day ban. Each additional offense gets the next level of ban. So if you commit an assault against somebody within the metro system, you're going to get banned for 45 days. And like I said, that's been approved by all 3 jurisdictions, and a ban in Maryland is honored in Virginia and DC. So it is a system-wide ban, and anybody located violating that ban is charged and arrested with contempt of court. What you're speaking of is what we refer to as a verbal ban. That is something that we've always been able to do so the officers were agents of WMATA, as it were. So we are able to ban people from the metro property for a period of 24 hours if we deem it necessary. I don't know what the situation was that day. If the officer deems that it's necessary to issue somebody this verbal 24-hour ban, they're able to do so. And then if somebody fails to comply with that and returns to the station, it's the same thing. They get arrested for unlawful entry rather than contempt of court.
So that would be a 24-hour ban for being in the way of an active incident or something along that lines. But this woman was literally filming herself being banned for filming the police, which is protected free speech.
Right. And I don't know the situation
right.
offhand. I could definitely look into it and see, what the overall situation was. I'm not familiar with that particular case offhand.
I have a link to the reel that was posted on social media. I'd be happy to send it to you.
That would
My
be wonderful.
understanding is it happened on Wednesday, June 10th, and you can see the Columbia Heights posts on the platform where the incident plays out.
Yeah, if you would email that directly to me, I'd appreciate it. I'll take a look at it.
Thank you.
Terrific. Next up, we have Commissioner Marks. I'm sorry, Howard Marks. Sorry about that.
How about just Citizen Marks?
Citizen Marks.
Citizen Marks.
Citizen Marks. I'm sorry.
Got a promotion there, sir. Go ahead.
Raising King.
Well, thank you for your service. I'm frequent Metro rider, frequent flyer, so to speak. I know Metro fare evasion is one of your favorite topics.
Indeed.
I think we're at ground zero here at the north end of the Gallery Place Chinatown station under the fan. Now, at a time, it's rare when we don't see either a young person, usually a young male, vaulting over the plexiglass. I wish these people would work out like track and field. They would be so good as athletes. And then my wife and I both experienced this week tailgating. And I look around and I don't want someone tailgating me but they have it down to a science. So that's number 2. Number 3, I happened to be on Metro bus through Anacostia. And it seems like only 1 out of every 4 passengers actually paid. It might have been actually 1 out of every 5. So what are you exactly doing to counter all of this? This is theft from people like me and those who are on the call, I assume. It's theft. What are you doing about it? Thank you.
It is. And it's interesting because there was a period of time where we were in Maryland actually charging theft for people that were fare evading. So we are still we're still pushing fare evasion. We recently had a very large push on the bus side where we were almost 100% focused on bus fare evasion. We did that for about 3 or 4 weeks because we've actually believe it or not, we've made great strides with the rail side. Fare evasion is way down despite despite what you see and all the people jumping over the gate, fare evasion is down. The gates track people that don't fare evade. They have sensors on them, so we have decently accurate numbers. But we are splitting our attention bus and rail now, just to try to combat all of it. You said 1 out of every 5. That's a lot better than it was. Statistically, we were at, gosh, now I'm pulling the number out of the back of my mind, but it was only something like 30% of people system wide were paying for the bus. So if we're getting there. It's not perfect, but we're getting there. Unfortunately, and I'll tell you from experience, if you walk through the Gallery Place station, odds are you might bump into me. I do stand at the gates at 7th and H with my officers from time to time, and it's just one of those things where we displace the crime. If they see us, they tap a card. If they don't see us, they don't tap a card. So, or they'll go to another entrance, so they can avoid us. We just don't have the numbers to be everywhere is what it boils down to. So, we are still doing a lot of fare evasion. Let me see if I might still have this open. Hang on. Give me 1 second. I have it's tables. I apologize. I know we have oh man. I can't find it right now. The numbers for our enforcement for fare evasion specifically, but our total citations and enforcement actions for the year so far at 11,753, and a lot of those are fare evasion citations. So we're working to combat it. It's a slippery problem because, like I said, we put people one place and they just go someplace else to do it. But it's getting there. It's getting better.
All right. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so very much, Lieutenant Barga. I appreciate you being here tonight, and thank you for the info.
Thank you, commissioners. I got to jump off, but
Yep.
Karen, we'll see you next month.
All right. Thank you. I see that we have Jamaica Williams on with us tonight from the mayor's office and our Ward 2 mayor's liaison. Yes.
Good evening.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
It won't let me turn my video on.
Hmm.
Let's see.
There you go. Yay, gotcha.
So, good evening, everyone. I'm just going to make a few announcements this evening. First, the Department of Buildings is continuing to host virtual listening sessions on major code areas, including building, electrical, residential, fuel, gas, mechanical, plumbing, energy conservation, green construction, and fire codes. These sessions provide an opportunity for residents and stakeholders to share feedback and help shape future code updates. Information about the various sessions can be found on DOB's website, and I'll also provide the link in the chat. Next, summer programming is now in full swing across the district. DPR summer camps are underway, and 2 new tween camp offerings have been added. This includes Horsepower, which focuses on horses, riding, and leadership, and All That, which includes art, science, journalism, and more. Spray parks are also open daily citywide, and outdoor pools are open as well. OUC and Octo will also be hosting 4 resident engagement sessions over the next few weeks on the future of the 311 app. These listening sessions are an are an opportunity for residents to share their thoughts and feedback on what they would like to see improved in the 311 app. It is also a valuable opportunity for OUC to hear directly from residents about what is working and what needs improvement. And I'll put the registration link in the chat also. We are also in the midst of another heat wave, which is expected to continue through Friday. If you are a renter and your air conditioning is broken or your water has been disconnected, please contact the Office of the Attorney General. The number is 202-442-9828. I also list the number in the chat. And then also residents are also encouraged to drink plenty of water, limit time outdoors, wear light and breathable clothing, check on seniors and vulnerable neighbors, and use cooling centers as needed. If you are concerned about someone experiencing homelessness, or if you need free accessible transportation to a low barrier shelter or day center, please call the shelter hotline or dial 311. And I will leave my contact information in the chat along with the links from the announcements. And if anyone has any issues or concerns or need anything to be escalated, please contact me anytime. And thank you again. And I hope everyone has a good evening. And if there's any questions.
Sure. Thank you very much for the update. I'm sure the water parks are going to be, or the spray parks are going to be used quite heavily this week. I did have a question about idling vehicles, like uh, trucks that are idling. I know there's a no idling ordinance in effect in the city. Who enforces that?
No. So usually so as far as idling, are they parked in like a no parking zone or
They're just double parked on the street, and they're just there for sometimes an hour or more.
okay.
Yeah.
It would probably either be I would think the best issue, like if it's 3 hours or more, to maybe that would probably be like a parking enforcement issue
Okay.
with DPW as far as with the idling.
DPW.
Hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah. Michael,
That's
I think
great.
they're doing it to run their AC, to keep their AC running.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. Like, what is it?
Mhm.
What type of vehicles? Like, is it
Like
commercial or
commercial vehicles.
yeah, that.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, I see that uh, Brian just put in um, a 311 link for us.
Ah,
Great.
I,
Thank
I,
you.
I don't
And
mean
Commissioner,
to scoff, but there's a souvenir store on my block, and the tour buses not only idle but are often double parked. So far, the record is 6 simultaneous, uh, Greyhound bus sized tour buses. It's a plague and a pestilence in our neighborhood, and the diesel fumes are I spent a fair bit of energy with a very passionate resident last year. The resident eventually literally sold his condo and left the city over this issue. So
yeah.
And also I could reach out to MPD because like with the double parking, that could just, be something to flag for them to keep a watch out or eyes out
yeah,
for.
we pursued lots and lots of things. It's not a priority, obviously, for MPD. The tour bus companies are not headquartered or chartered really here, so enforcement is nigh on impossible. Um, yeah, it's a challenge.
All right. Thank you for those updates. I appreciate it. Yeah, and the biggest problem is I hear complaints from the exhaust fumes being sucked in or getting into the residences or the businesses, and they're kind of being gassed out or outside streeteries, etc.
Also follow up on other ways that we can help remediate those situations as far as
Okay,
Italy.
that's great. That's great. I appreciate that.
Okay.
Awesome. Thank you very much for being here tonight. We appreciate you. And we will move forward with the office of Ward 2 Councilmember Brooke Pinto's office. And we have Brian on with us, who is back with us.
Yes, good to see you all. I'm happy to be here. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yes.
Um, so I'll give a pretty short update. So the council took their final vote on the FY27 budget last week. You may have seen some of this already, but Chairman Mendelson added an additional $400 million to the budget from what the mayor had proposed, mainly by using funds from the city's federal tax decoupling that the CFO had not allowed the mayor to spend, but then it allowed the council to spend, and by using $150 million from reserves, which the CFO was not happy about, as you can imagine, but the council thinks they were within their right to do. Those funds were used to reverse many of the cuts that the mayor had proposed to things like the Child Care Pay Equity Fund for daycare workers, housing vouchers for unhoused residents, access to justice and victim services legal supports, and insurance for people who don't qualify for Medicaid and don't have employer coverage. Councilmember Pinto was able to restore $450,000 in funding for the activations at the MLK Library Loja, which had been cut originally, and that's for some of the big events that you'll see there that take place and are very popular. She was able to fund $24 million of the Gallery Place Chinatown Task Force recommendations that reimagine our public spaces to be more pedestrian and event friendly, which includes Gallery Square plans, the Chinatown Alleyway plans, and then $17 million over 2 years for 7th Street Northwest. And it's mostly for sidewalk expansion that would really make the sidewalks much larger on 7th Street. But there's different designs for the northern part and the southern part of 7th Street. So again, we're referring you back to the Chinatown Task Force recommendations page. Those were mostly just designs. So I think they'll probably, DDOT will have to flesh those out more and come to you all for approval and, your thoughts as they work on those designs for all of that. And then she also got some funding to attract new businesses, new tech businesses to downtown, and to try to help Children's National Hospital find a new location in DC, hopefully in Ward 2. And we think downtown would be great. So lots of, we need more jobs downtown, as we know, and more people. So hopefully that can happen. We were very disappointed the amplified sound law was not funded again. And I think we're going to have a new strategy with the new mayor and new council members so they can understand how important it is for us to fund that in the FY28 budget. Your neighborhood is not the only one, so I think I need to help connect different stakeholders to try to get more pressure on different council members, but especially the chairman and the other at-large council members should know that this needs to be funded. It's been too long that we've been waiting on that. And then the chairman did announce that the council is going to hold hearings this fall on raising taxes or revenue raisers. The council had talked about potentially doing it in these budget votes, but decided to wait until the fall. And he said he wants to make sure that we work with the new mayor to make sure that it's something that she would support as well, and not something that they would just change after she's whoever they may be is sworn in. I guess I'm being a little presumptuous there. The council had another legislative meeting today, and now they begin, and that's over. So they begin their 2-month legislative recess tomorrow. Recess, as a reminder, is just no new legislation can be introduced or voted on, and no hearings can be held. But we're very much so still working, so you can continue to reach out to our office for any assistance. They did vote today to allow the committee with oversight of elections to hold 3 roundtables this summer. So that's not usual, but the roundtables can be on elections and campaign finance issues. We know with the new ranked choice voting, there's some questions about what that means for the at-large council races in the fall. And there are some questions about different campaign finance issues. So you should expect to see some hearings on that. And Councilmember Bonds chairs that committee still. Councilmember Donnie Crawford, who was appointed to fill Councilmember McDuffie's seat, will actually be replaced this coming Friday by Councilmember Silverman. So if you remember, Councilmember Alyssa Silverman used to be a council member. She then lost to Councilmember McDuffie when he switched from Ward 5 to at-large. And since he had to resign to run for mayor because he was an independent, his seat was filled by an appointee. So it's Councilmember Crawford. So anyway, the special election in June, which was the same day as the primary, fills that seat starting this Friday. So again, we'll have a transition from Councilmember Crawford to Councilmember Silverman. But again, they'll be in recess. So hopefully a good time for Councilmember Silverman to get set up again. And I think I'll stop there and happy to hear from you all.
Great. Thank you so much, Brian. I appreciate you being here and giving your update. I know I asked you this separately related to the throne in near the library in a location there. Can you provide an update to constituents on the status of that? And is this funded in the new budget?
Sure. Yes. So the throne bathrooms, and you all probably know the one that's down at Indiana Avenue Plaza, or there's one in DuPont Circle. There's one in Columbia Heights as well in the plaza up there. Councilmember Pinto did fund a new throne restroom specifically for the MLK library area. And that was actually in the FY25 budget, or sorry, 26. I'm confusing myself. So in the existing budget, she funded it. It went through the bidding process. It doesn't just automatically go to Throne, the bidding process. So anybody could have applied. So anyway, it was then awarded to Throne, took some time, and we were then ready to go. And we worked with Throne to walk around the library area and find some potential locations. They're a lot smaller than you'd think, but they are bigger than a porta potty. And so the most desirable location is right behind the Metro canopy at 9th and G. There's a small space that's big enough for like a single car, which sometimes you'll see the Metro employees park there, which they're not supposed to do. And so anyway, we thought it was Metro's property. We reached out to Metro. We were working with them. They were like, okay, we think this is, fine with us. And then Metro said, actually, it's not our property. It's Smithsonian's property. So then we had to go to the Smithsonian, which we did somewhat more recently. And we did meet with them. And they said that they're considering it, which they still are. I have contacts at the Deputy Mayor for Health and Human Services office helping with this as well. And so they reached out to Smithsonian again today. They had told us that they were going to be busy with all the July 4th preparations. So we understand that. So anyway, so we reached back out to them today for an update. So we'll see. We just asked them to let us know either way. I'm still hopeful for a yes on that location, and Throne can install it almost immediately. They're very easy to install and move around. And that would, we think, be a good help. Now, it's not perfect. The hours are not amazing. They're not open all night long, which is when we're having some of the challenges. But at least if it can get us a little bit later than the library hours or earlier than the library hours, we're hopeful that it could be helpful. And again, I think it's going to be used by tons of people, not just, unhoused residents. Lots of people use them in DuPont Circle. We have another one that we've deployed to the Shaw Skate Park up on 11th Street. And within the first 2 weeks, I think there were 400 uses. Which was probably mostly by the skaters. So they are very popular and they're clean 5 times a day. If you're an unhoused resident, they can give you a card. So we'd have the MLK library give out cards to anyone that needs it, or we could have Pathways to Housing walk around. But otherwise, you can use a cell phone, which a lot of the unhoused population does have cell phones as well, and they can tap in, using their cell phone. It's all free and very nice. So anyway, that's the update on that. We did have some other locations if Smithsonian says no. But they're just not as great. There's one at 8th Street and H, which is okay, but we just need a large sidewalk and we need the property owner to not object. And DDOT does not like them to be in the street, unfortunately, because we've talked about couldn't just take 2 car spaces, and DDOT really doesn't like that for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that update. And it is funded in the new budget?
Yes, although the issue is there's multiple. So in theory, like maybe Indiana Avenue might not be funded. Like there's a kind of a question of like where are they located now, and should we be reconsidering and moving them around? So we do. I mean, MLK is our priority as soon as we can get a location for it. But yeah, it's possible that maybe we would move the skate park one, or maybe we would move the Indiana Avenue. I don't think we'll move DuPont Circle. That's very popular as well. So
awesome. Thank you for that. Commissioners, do you have any other questions for Councilmember Pinto's office? And I see. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jim. I'm sorry. I missed you.
Yeah, I saw Howard there too. But just let me ask you this, Brian. Again, I've worked with Councilmember Pinto and others on the Sound Mitigation Act, as you know. And one thing that we really do believe that if there's going to be a success, and I'm thrilled that the Chinatown program has been funded and because we need that space to, to enhance the value of the area. But one word of caution I would have is that it mostly is public property. And if there's no balance between enjoying oneself walking through there and the unmitigated sound that can easily happen there with a variety of people who are doing that sort of thing now, because there will be a lot of people down there. And I just think that the two items go hand in hand for that area. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll definitely take that back to the council member. And I would agree, anytime you create more public space, you do open up the opportunity for things to go like in a way that you don't intend. But again, it is already law. That's the good news. The bad news is we just still haven't been able to fund it. But like I said, I think it'll be key to work with the new mayor and new council members. And this is, a big issue in Ward 1 as well. So again, we just need to get people reaching out to these folks. So there's going to be a new council member there, for example, and make sure they know.
Thank you.
Excellent. Citizen Marks.
Yes, thank you, Commissioner Chairman Schenkel. Brian, thank you for your report. Of course, we're very interested in these improvements, sidewalk improvements, just to pivot off what Commissioner Swartz said. But I haven't seen any plans for this. You mentioned 7th Street sidewalks, northern end, southern end. I haven't seen any of these plans. Our building fronts on the sidewalk on the east side of 7th Street. Could you share those plans with us?
Sure. So I think they're just concepts still from the Gallery Place Chinatown Task Force recommendations. In the chat, I just posted the 2 7th Street portions of that. And again, there's some images on the slides that they sent. I'll post a link to that as well. But for the north part of 7th Street, it says expand the sidewalks and install lush plantings to create a foundation for economic vitality. But then for the southern portion, it says remove the parking lanes on both sides of 7th Street between D and F and expand the sidewalks and create outdoor dining opportunities. Install sculptures, interactive installations, and artistic lighting. So again, I think those are just concepts really, but that's the general idea for those two areas. But yeah, we would need DDOT to show, if the lanes are going to change, parking is going to change. Obviously, everyone's going to want to know all about that.
Well, I think not only the residents at Gallery Place would be interested, but also Monumental Sports Entertainment, which, as you know, is already taking over some of the storefronts in our building, on the commercial side of our building, like a new team store and new access to the Gallery Place Theater, which will be where the photo exhibit was, the Benson photo exhibit. So we're very concerned, and I think, as Commissioner Swart rightly pointed out, we definitely don't want to give any more space to buskers, because once the arena reopens in late September, we don't want to repeat of what's happening by Nationals Park on Half Street, where you have these drummer groups and so on. And there's a condo there also. I don't know how they managed. I mean, it's terrible. It's just degrading. It would never be tolerated in other kind of situations. We don't want that in front of our building. So that's why we want to take a look at the design concept for must be what the northern part, especially between, for us at least, G and H. And I'm sure Monumental would want between F and H on the east side of the street.
Definitely, yeah. So I'm imagining now the funding goes to DDOT, and we will, work with them and make sure they're doing lots of community engagement.
And yes,
Brian, where's
we
the
have
northern side of H? Oh, I'm sorry, Jack. Go ahead. Michael,
and we have not seen any of those concept plans. So there's been nothing besides what the task force presented as ideas. There has been no concrete plans that have been circulated in any fashion that I'm aware of.
Will DDOT have to come before us?
Yes, they would have to
with
come
very
before us.
specific plans?
Yes,
because it's a matter of implementing what the task
right.
force
And
idea.
this was just approved in the FY27 budget, which would start in October. So I don't know if DDOT would wait until October to start the process, the NOA process, or they would start that process earlier. That's to be determined, but we can reach out to DDOT and figure that out.
I think so. And again, with there'll be a new mayoral administration, don't forget, so they could change exactly how, DDOT's mandates could change quite a
Yeah.
bit. So keep that in mind.
Thank you. Okay, we will now move forward. Thank you for that. Thank you so much, Brian, for being here and for filling in, and maybe we'll see you in the near future. Thank you so much. And now we'll move forward with the downtown bid. And I'm not sure if I have Eloise or Lucas here tonight or both.
Hey everyone,
Lucas.
it's me.
I'm seeing Lucas.
Lucas, ice plunge you mama.
Yes, I saw the ice plunge on social media.
It was a lot of fun, by the way. I highly recommend it. Hold on, let me pull up. I appreciate you all letting me join today. Let me pull up my presentation that I could share. Can everyone see my presentation?
Yes.
Yep. Awesome. I like to always start off these meetings with a lot of our clean and safe data. One thing that we all do at home is throw out the trash. So I think it's important to talk about the amount of trash that our team collects on a monthly basis. In June, we collected over 19,000 bags, equaling 114,000 pounds of trash. Our stickers, posters, graffiti continue to be a huge challenge. As quickly as we remove them, they go back up. These are just cases, but some of these cases have 2, 3, 4 items related. So even though it's 179 closed cases that were removed, many of those have multiple components around them. Our bid personnel hours in the Chinatown corridor area is about 1,200 hours every month. And that really includes pressure washing, street sweeping, trash removal, sidewalk cleaning, a lot of our work around the unhoused community. And then, as you know, this is a busy time for our landscaping company. In the month of June alone, over 600 hours of watering services for all our bid planters, including our hanging baskets, the planters on 7th Street, Pennsylvania Avenue, Freedom Plaza, Indiana Plaza. This is our first year that we've actually given the entire scope of the business work to our landscaping company. And even though it's been extremely hot, our hanging baskets and our planters look very, very good. This year's theme was obviously red, white. There's not a lot of blue options for our for plants. That's why we went with our red and white to celebrate America 250. A lot of the activations that we have coming up, really, a big part of our job beyond our clean and safe initiatives, which are really the foundation of the bid, is also really activating our public spaces, whether it's through activations or through public art. every Thursday we do a live at Anthem Row, and we have either live music or live DJs. Our fitness at Franklin Park, which everyone saw, our ice our ice baths that we have as part of our activation. It's every Saturday. I highly recommend coming over to Franklin Park from 9 a.m. to noon. We have three different exercise components. For example, we do trap yoga, go-go boxing, we have Pilates, and then obviously the ice baths. It's a really good experience. Come on out. We have the go-go museum and activation that we have this Saturday, and then our second annual Ringside at Anthem Row, which is a lucha libre event. The Girl Scouts of America have their annual meeting next week at the convention center. We're hosting a week-long activation at Franklin Park. And then I know my two friends, Cuba and JC, are online. They will be talking about the Crew of Pyros activation that we have in August, including a great parade. So I don't want to steal their thunder. So we have a ton of stuff happening in July at in downtown, and then obviously we still have a lot of the celebrations around 250, including the IndyCar race in August. We just finished our Mabel Lee mural at the 618 H Street, the vacant lot there. It really has transformed that entire lot. It has really made it into a space of activism. The beautiful thing about public art is really that it becomes not only a beautification tool, but a storytelling tool. And we really have leaned in on using that space as a place to be able to have social messaging and social impact. And then our Prism America 250 aerial sculpture at Anthem Row that Mei Lee designed. And it was really the inspiration for this sculpture was around the American flag. And as you could tell, if you go out there and count, there's 50 stars on there. But then the touch is really the 51st star, which is at the bottom, including that has the DC flag on it. And it's really hopefully to show that DC will be one day be a state. And then our safety team, after a month, we pulled in the safety team. We stopped it to rethink a lot of the work that we're doing, and we relaunched on July 1. So the safety team is back out there, really putting a lot of the focus on our business check-ins, wellness checks to really build in that community, and that allows really our team to engage with our retail spaces and our property managers to really get an understanding of some of the challenges that they're seeing and feeling, and then we could communicate that to our city partners. So we're back out there, and you'll see our team out there, and hopefully we'll be able to extend this. I know that the Safe Corridors grant period just started for 2027, and we hope that we'll be able to get this grant to be able to extend our safety team. And that is all I have from our end. Happy to answer any questions from anyone on the call.
Thank you so much, Lucas. We appreciate your update, and there's lots of great events happening downtown in which people can access that the DC bid is sponsoring or engaged in, etc. So thank you for that. Commissioner Lee.
Lucas, can you post? Nancy mentioned you had some like social media video of you taking the ice plunge. Could you post that in the chat?
Yeah, for sure.
It looked cold. Commissioners, other commissioners, do you have any other questions? Anybody else a question for the bid?
Howard, if I don't get a question for you, I'm going to feel like I haven't done my job. So please, please.
It was a great presentation. I would say the Girl Scouts, there's going to be 10,000 of them descending on the convention center next week. And the fact that you opened up Franklin Square for their activities, which I include, I don't know, some sort of like rappelling or some sort of rope climbing. It's wonderful. I was down at National Harbor for another conference. We're in competition. There's no question with the Gaylord and National Harbor. They're our number one competition. And the value add we have. So when someone books space at the convention center, they could say, hey, we could provide this outdoor space for you, which they can't do down at National Harbor. This is an amazing plus for the district. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no, Howard, we couldn't agree with you more. This was like a big recruitment effort by the bid to really not only get the Girl Scouts to come to the convention center, but the goal is really to get them outside of the convention center, because as we get them to explore outside of the convention center, that means that they start engaging with our retail businesses. Hopefully they're staying in the hotels. Really right now, we all see the budget challenges our city is facing in 2027 and beyond. And I think we have to make every effort to continue to drive revenue, and that's through heads and beds, getting people to engage with our restaurants. Look, we all have been spoiled by the amount of restaurants we've had in the city for the last 15 to 20 years. And to be able to continue to have that experience for people that live here and work here, we have to drive business to these establishments or they won't be here. And it is really critical right now more than ever that we put that focus on getting people downtown, not only downtown, but like our entire city. We're blessed and cursed at the same time to have a city that has so many great neighborhoods that at any given night you could find 50 activations, right? So like we have to continue to embrace that, amplify that, because to me that the creative economy, one thing that did not get lost around COVID and the pandemic, people didn't mind continuing to spend money on experiences, and we have to create these experiences that drive people from the suburbs, that drive people from other parts of the city, and that drive people from all around the country and the world here. And I think things like the Girl Scouts are amazing. Look, we could say what we want around our political challenges that we have in our city and our country, but some of the things, at least some of the activities that have happened over the summer celebrating America 250, at least they brought people into our city,
Yes.
To spend money. And for the most part, we've had, I think people have come to our city and enjoyed our city and brought great positive energy. We know that it is not 100%. And I know that 10% sometimes is louder than the 90% that came here with positivity and enjoyment. And I'm very grateful that we have a city that really embraces that. And we appreciate that you guys are appreciating how important that value is.
Thank you, Lucas. We appreciate that statement for sure. And I do want to encourage everybody to definitely support our local businesses and restaurants because they do struggle during.
My hand is up briefly, if I might.
Sure, please.
Not only, well, safety down here is awfully important as well, with so many people coming in, as you know, Lucas. And I receive monthly reports from Convention Center as to how many people are expected to be here. And I'm thrown off by the fact that July 31st through August the 2nd, they are expecting the estimated attendance of 37,000.
Is
And
that
that's
for,
a phenomenon.
is that for Otakon or something else?
Otakon.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Otakon is amazing, and talk about activating the city.
Mm-hmm.
It is amazing. Also, it was not last week, but the week before, there was a convention. I kept
The
trying to
red, the red, the red
the red,
coats.
the red,
Yeah.
the red jacketed young people who were
Maybe not
all.
the red coats was the right word, by the way. I'm sorry.
Yes, it took me a while to get close enough to read the logo and look it up on my phone. It was community living future professionals,
Yeah.
caregivers, and all kinds of things. Looked like older high school, younger, like entering college age, but thousands of them, and they were all in all of our local establishments, not the fancy restaurants, but the ones for the rest of us.
Yes.
And it just talk about activating the perception of safety of that many happy, relaxed, enthusiastic, goal-setting young people was very inspiring. So
And we see so many of them here in city center, Lucas, as you know, because of the sculptures that are through here and the real bargain restaurants, I must say, as well, and stores, etc. But it's really helpful when all these people come into our city and they feel like they are safe
Yeah.
and they feel like they're in a great neighborhood.
Yes. I'm sorry, guys. We have to move on with our agenda.
Okay.
I apologize, but thank you so much for being here and for your update.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Sure. I would just like to provide a quick update on the MLK Library Loggia. This is the area like under the canopy of the library is called the Loggia. And there has been a task force that has been formed with the library and the downtown bed with various stakeholders to re-envision what G Street can look like in the future. And part of this process, it has been very focused. The conversation with all the stakeholders has really come back to our unhoused community, who are living under the loggia, sleeping under the loggia at night. Starting on July 6th, the MLK Library has implemented a 90-day pilot in which they are not permitting anybody to sleep under the loggia. At night, it is being monitored by library police and MPD to prevent the loggia from being used. And the reason for that is twofold. The library is going to be activating the loggia with events and activities that are going to be coming up. And there has been an ongoing safety and public health concern related to the individuals who are living there. So these activities are in play at this point as part of the last task force meeting, which happened near the end of June. I'm sorry. I believe it was the 24th of June, 23rd, 24th of June. They are pulling together a group of um, leaders, representatives of the homeless community to engage them in the process as well. So this is not just a one-sided kind of process. It's how can we work together with the community to bridge some of the gaps that are occurring. But that is in play. I am sitting on that committee as one of the participants, and there are government agencies, of course, that are there. There are uh, various churches, social groups in the area, um, folks that use the library for their meetings and activities. So there's a variety of people that are engaged in that process. So I just wanted to provide an update regarding that. Um, I don't have any written materials to present at this point, but that's just kind of giving you the update on what is happening under the LoJa.
Yeah. Michael,
Thank,
just make sure
go
that
ahead.
the folks that do sleep there get lots of notice so that they can
Yes.
prepare prior.
They have noticed for the last several weeks prior to the implementation, and they are continuing to notice. They have brought in additional support. I know Pathways is one of the support people, the support groups that are there. DBH is there. Uh, uh, the bids, homeless services are there. So there's a variety of people that are in the area helping to support that. But thank you.
Thank,
Any
thank you,
questions?
Michael, for serving on this on all of our behalf and for representing the commission. It would be great to get, just regular touch points so that we know and can support the
Yes,
effort all around. We
exactly.
can't help if we don't know.
That's right. Exactly. Okay. We do have on local events that are impacting the community. We do have two items on the agenda this evening. And I know that the Events DC wants to discuss the um, Mardi Gras in the district event on August 8th. Is that correct? I don't want to be.
Yes, it is.
Okay, gotcha. JC, there it is. JC, okay. Terrific. Hi, JC. Do you guys want to discuss the event for us?
Yes. Hello, everyone. Thank you all so much for your time and allowing us to entertain you again.
Exactly.
But I mean, Lucas kind of like took the thunder and everything, with all these great events and everything. And you being from New Orleans, we love the party. It's all about Lizzie Le Bon Temps Roulette. But yeah, so on August 8th, we're having our Mardi Gras parade finally. Our inaugural Mardi Gras parade. It was postponed from January due to the weather, which was, I guess, a freak accident, right? But every 100 years or something like that. But hey, what better month to have it in August? So I'm learning from these younger folk about half birthdays or whatever, where you
Yes,
celebrate.
exactly.
Yeah. So this would be a perfect date from Mardi Gras. So we're looking forward to coming down, bringing some folk in, and like as Lucas said, you know, have the folk, purchase from the restaurants and everything, just bring, currency to the district and everything, you know, hopefully joy, and everything. I heard earlier, everybody was giving their reports, but the history of New Orleans, we have these things to try to deter, violence and stuff like that. Just family fun, having a good time, good music, good food, and everything. So we're looking forward to it. Some other things, I guess, I don't know if Lucas is going to jump in. Sorry, Cuba had a conflict with the schedule. She's on another meeting, actually, pertaining to that weekend. But we're looking forward to it. We hope that you all approve and look forward to you all coming out and party with us, and as we, celebrate our culture and bring a little New Orleans down to the district. Well, up to the district, rather.
Thank you so much, JC. And
Yes.
could you tell us like what the route the parade is going to take, or how's that? Do you have
Yeah,
that?
so to my understanding, it's going to start at the park right there in Chinatown. I think it's the Chinese
Chinatown
New Year.
Park, the
Yeah,
Chinatown Park, JC.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Thank you, Lucas. So you all, I try to be a real CEO. I don't try to,
Yeah.
hang over everybody and go to all the meetings. But to my understanding, it's the same route as the Chinatown Parade and
Okay.
The
everything.
Lunar
And
New Year parade. Yep.
yeah,
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Lunar New Year Parade. Yeah. So, just a good start. We're not going to make it big,
Right.
anything, just, a feel or so, hopefully the following year, you all will be on the float and, helping us celebrate. So, looking forward to this. It's like growing and impacting the city, with currency and everything.
Terrific.
So,
So,
JC, just if you don't mind, I could jump in a little bit just to give. So the route
absolutely.
essentially
Yes.
starts at Chinatown Park. We'll go up I to 7th, left on 7th, right on G to 8th Street, right on 8th, and then that Anthem Row. Once we end that Anthem Row, people will be have pleasantly surprised. We'll have an event set up there that will take place from 11 a.m. till I believe 6 p.m. At Anthem Row. We'll have live music, live DJs. We have some classic cars that are going to be there. We're working with a couple of our stakeholders to create a New Orleans vibe. We're looking at, gumbo. You're gonna have a boil, a crawfish boil happening. So it's really a great opportunity to showcase and bring New Orleans culture, which really the importance of that is really because it has so many ties to our DC culture here. And I know JC and Crew of Pyros, any of the events that they do, I think are so impactful because not only do they attract the local community, they do a great job of bringing people from New Orleans here, which really help our economic impact because it's really heads and beds. And then all the individuals that are here that come and spend money at our establishments.
Terrific. Thank you
And we're
very much.
doing this in partnership with Crew of Pyros and Events DC.
Yes.
The downtown DC bid is involved. And this is, we hope that this is the beginning of a long lasting tradition
Relationship.
that we
Yes.
could have with this type of event that we're aiming for. And JC, look, the January event would have been amazing, but let me
Yes.
tell you, uh, I think the excitement we're gonna have and the engagement we're gonna have in August versus January, I think will be awesome.
Yes, I think we'll be making history, Lucas, because I can't say that we ever had a Mardi Gras parade that ended with like a festival.
Yeah.
So just to have that all in one, is beautiful. And like you say, the combination of, New Orleans and DC.
Yep.
And, we have it, we've impacted, I guess, New Orleans to a point where people are looking for any reason to fly to DC they just love the
Excellent.
area. It offers a lot, it offers a lot. So thank
Not
you.
a respite for the heat though.
Right. Right. So we'll pray for, a little
Yeah.
January and
Little
August.
January and
Just a
August.
little. Yeah.
Exactly. Um,
Yeah.
I would like to move that we send a letter of support for Mardi Gras in the district on August 8th, 2026, with hosted by the crew of Pyros Foundation, DC Events, and DC Bed.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Groth. All those in favor? Okay. I don't see Thomas. So I'm going to say that. Thomas, were you voting on that?
Can you hear us, Thomas?
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
yes, yes, I'm here. I'm
Yes.
sorry. My
So
mic was off.
4-0-0?
Yes.
Okay. 400 for that. So we'll get that letter of support off for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, you all. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thank you, JC.
Thank you so much. There are other item on the consent agenda. The consent agenda is the 10th annual DC bike ride scheduled for Saturday, September 12th, 2026. The course roads are from 12th and Constitution to 3rd and Pennsylvania. This event runs from 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Any questions about the event?
Move that we send a letter of support.
Great. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Swart. All those in favor? Acknowledge. Okay, 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. We'll get that letter off too. Terrific. Next, we'll move on to alcoholic beverage and cannabis licensing. We have the first item up is an update regarding Cuba Libre. This was APRA number 082457. And this was a substantial change to the retailer's Class C restaurant license, and it was for their streetery endorsement on 9th Street, 9th and H. 9th and yeah, 9th and H, yes.
Hey, you're almost up. Can you log in?
We decided at our last
5 minutes because
Thomas, you're on broadcast. We at our last meeting we voted to send a letter of support for the stipulated license, but we modified the timing that they were requesting, and that time was Monday through Thursday.
I think the letter says 7 days a week, but
there was different timing. It was
okay.
11 to Monday through Thursday. It was 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. For service of alcohol Monday through Thursday. And they were able, after last call, people were able to stay in the streetery until midnight. And then on Friday, Saturday, it was 11 to 12 with cutoff of alcohol at 12 and last call being 12 and 1 o'clock closure was what we had voted on during our meeting. I went to Cuba Libre. There was some discussion about whether we were holding Cuba Libre to a higher standard. I pulled the license around City Center, and the license all go till 11 p.m. for outside seating or 12 a.m. Depending on the location within City Center. And this is for outside only. That's all I looked at for these. And it was consistent with what we voted on in our meeting. So I went back to solidify the agreement with Cuba Libre with the times that we decided. In that, I also added a comment for a cure period that they had to supply a name and contact information for residents to report issues. And I put in they needed to include signage on their streetery to indicate that there were residents in the area and to be mindful of that. And the final piece was to adding a what was adding the cure period that they have 14 days to respond to that, to cure a potential concern. So that was the agreement. The reason I went with 14 days is that's what APCA has approved in the past. They would not accept things that were shorter than that, um, as far as a breach condition. So, and if they do breach and they go after 14 days to form a cure, then we can file a complaint with APCA that they're in breach of their settlement agreement.
Where do we stand with the settlement agreement at this moment? Have we heard back officially from their attorney, Mr. Minora?
The settlement agreement has been accepted by the client.
Hmm.
It is not yet signed as the client is on vacation.
Okay, but the attorney has indicated that Cuba Libre is willing to accept this settlement agreement.
Yes.
Awesome.
Any questions?
And
Comments?
Well, I do. And the likelihood of that indeed being signed is 100%.
But they said that they accepted it. So I would assume.
The attorney speaking for his client is an officer of the court in this instance. Is that not true?
Well, the client could change their mind.
Yes, that's always possible.
Yeah.
Do we have a time frame for when they'll be back?
He should be back to me by early next week.
Okay.
Not before. He's been in touch with the client.
Thank you, Michael, for all your work on this.
Okay.
Michael, have you met with the client?
I have met with the attorney.
And how often did you meet with him?
I have communicated with him through email.
Okay. All right.
Okay. That's my update at this point. Um, the next on our agenda is Lamassu. I'm assuming I'm saying that correct. LLC.
Yes, Lamosu.
Lamassu, terrific, awesome. And this is operating under the trade name of Lafayette Daily Market, 625 D Street Northwest. This is Abra 13633. This is a request for a transfer of a Class A liquor store license to 625 D Street Northwest. This license was originally at 3938 Minnesota Northeast. And the licensee is also requesting a change of hours on the APCA license from what was 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. and it's being changed to 9 a.m. to midnight. And are you you're representing the establishment?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. I know we had a meeting, some of us had a meeting earlier this week, and invited some community members to the meeting. Do you want to elaborate on the establishment and tell us what you're going to be doing there?
Actually, I am purchasing the property from Douglas Development.
Okay,
I'm leasing out to Miss Nuri
I gotcha.
Lamasu LLC. Yeah, she wants to run a convenience store and liquor, actually.
Yes,
So the liquor license procedure has to placard for 45 days
yes,
for any concern, protest, or whatever.
correct.
Yeah. Uh,
That is correct. Thomas, do you want to provide an update from your meeting?
Yes, we had, sorry, I'm going to go on the screen here. Yes, we had a meeting on Thursday night with the proprietor, or the proposed proprietor, who's seeking to rent the space. I solicited questions from the community, and we asked her a number of questions, and she provided answers. And then we opened the floor to the community to ask remaining questions if they felt or if they felt that they had more questions to ask that weren't answered. And based on uh, based on the feedback from the community, for members that have participated in the call anyway, they would like to seek a settlement agreement, or enter into one, to hammer down some terms, so that we'd be good neighbors going forward. I think a number of them are participating on this call, so if they, if you want to hear from some of them, I suppose they can share their thoughts.
Got it. It looks like we have Katrina. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you so much. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Katrina Martinez. I'm a resident of the Clara Barton, which is in the same building as the proposed location, and I'm the designated group representative of Clara Barton residents that are forming on this particular application. And I understand that there is a parallel resident group for Lafayette condo owners who are also in the same building that are organizing as well. We're not here to stop the market from opening, but to make sure that assurances that we received are enforceable. We appreciate Ms. Nouri meeting with the community on July 9th, where she told residents that she doesn't intend to sell hard liquor and doesn't intend to open until the midnight, even though that's what it says in the application. The application says otherwise because it's a Class A spirits license with hours extended from 9 a.m. to midnight, including alcohol sales. And while we do take her assurances at her word, the terms need to be in writing because such assurances don't transfer, but a settlement agreement travels with the license, whoever is holding it in 5 years. I believe there is a settlement agreement that's framework, at least in process, capturing what the business owner previously committed to. And I believe she told residents that she's open to putting anything necessary in writing after consulting with her attorney. Thus, because the protest petition deadline is Monday, July 27th, and tonight is the ANC's only opportunity to act, we respectfully ask the Commission to vote tonight to file a protest of the hours and the change of hours. Pro forma, on the basis of peace, order, and quiet, to be withdrawn upon board approval of such settlement agreement. And we also ask that the Commission designate a representative to finalize that agreement with the applicant, jointly with the two resident groups, with a firm response deadline. We'd like to welcome the market and look forward to working with the applicant on the settlement agreement.
Thank you so much, Christina. I appreciate you. Or Katrina, I'm sorry, Christina. Sorry about that. Thank you for your input. And we have Susan up next.
Thank you. And thank you, Katrina. I am a resident of the Lafayette building, sister building to the Clara Barton, and I am on this call with several other residents from the Lafayette who are deeply concerned about this application transfer and extension of operating hours. Katrina did an excellent job of summarizing many of the issues. I will just add some very specific and practical color to what you heard from Katrina. Specifically, I wanted to talk about the proximity of the location of this store to the entrance of the Lafayette, a building that is not only occupied by many longstanding owners, but many of whom are families with young children. Our building is not secured by any security personnel. The street, D Street, this block, although there are some, obviously it is zoned in part for commercial use, is largely residential and very quiet. This liquor store would be opening also next to an alley that is not in Dead End Alley, but it actually runs between D and E. Much of the building directly oversees that alley. So there's a large concern from residents, not only with the public safety aspects of that, in terms of what the alley, how the alley might expand upon the public safety issues generated by the proximity of the storefront to our residential lobby, but also all of the nuisance issues that attach to that, from noise to trash, etc. So I would just echo. Oh, and I also wanted to say something, Katrina, you didn't touch upon much, but the residents on this call, and there are more that oppose the store, are very concerned about impact on property values with a liquor store opening with the name of our building in our lobby directly adjacent to our front door. So I would just underscore the public safety risk created by this to the residents of the building, and join in Katrina's ask that the ANC file a petition so that we can preserve our rights and negotiate a signed settlement agreement with conditions that would ensure public safety and nuisance issues and property value issues are as reduced as possible. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Susan. Appreciate that. And Phil, we'll hear from you. And
Hi, thank you. I'm also a resident of the Lafayette and also attended the meeting that Thomas hosted with Nagara last week. And I don't want to repeat too much, but just to offer, an additional perspective that my takeaway from the meeting, which I think several of the commissioners were at, was that the business plan is not fully thought through. I was one of the people who sort of pressed on the details of, what do you mean by grocery? At one point, she said Whole Foods, which obviously is not realistic for the space. At another point, she said, just normal everyday items, which obviously is wide open for interpretation. So I think a lot of my discomfort, I also plan to protest before the ABC, is the apparent lack of detail, which I just think is that lack of detail is the kind of thing that could lead to a problematic business without a clear vision on what's at stake. So I would protest unless and until there's a clear business plan that's going to ensure that the residents of both buildings aren't going to have a nuisance on their hands.
terrific. Commissioner Lee. Thank you
Yes,
so much.
yeah, Reza, I do have one question. I'll make a motion, but I want to ask you a question. I know that you had said something to the effect that that you were going to rent the space to her and that she was not going to compete against with Central Liquors. Is it a lease term in the lease agreement that you're writing to her that she not sell spirits and just limit her sales to wine and beer only, or has that been established yet, or has that not been established?
No, has not established yet, but no, it's not anything on paper, but based on her license, she's allowed to sell everything. But
Right.
but what I saw from her business plan, the business plan says only 25 maximum to 30% of the, I mean,
Right.
wine and beer and liquor. So most likely, I don't think they can sell it. I mean, that much since Central Liquor has more customer base for past 15 years there.
Mhm.
So it's not logic for a businessman or woman to come and compete in just 400 feet away from another liquor store. So unless they want to focus on exactly only liquor business. And
Right.
so, yeah, no, but there is no restriction on her license. But we haven't, I mean, finalized the lease yet because we have to make sure first for the transfer license and other things happens, I mean, correctly, and then we're gonna finalize the lease. But based on the business plan, no, she's not making any more than 25, 30% of individual items actually for to be matched with the convenience, I mean, store and convenience items. So if
Right.
someone wants to buy something for, I mean, his or her convenience, I mean, items, so they are free
Right.
to buy another wine, I mean, next to their purchases or
Right.
liquor, small liquor. Yeah,
Right.
but they don't. I mean, actually, as a business, perspective, it's really. I mean, it's not that huge space,
Mhm.
and you cannot run very huge. Even if they want to run only liquor store, it's not that huge. If you want to run only convenience, it's not that huge. It's just about. I think the net square footage, the usable net square footage is both of them is about 1800 or less than 1800. So
Mhm.
just imagine with the shelf and fridge and all other, I mean,
Mhm.
fixture that you put there. So how much space you have to, So
Right.
so far, I don't have any concern for competition with the central liquor because it's not in their plan.
Right. And then to Phil's concern, will you be helping her with her business plan, or no? Will you have like, will you be helping her with like, um,
Yeah, sure, of course.
I,
So
I'll take I'll take two more statements and then we have to cut it off. Let's go to Commissioner Groth and then we'll go to Howard Marks.
Just briefly, I'm impressed by Katrina's email from yesterday that has specifics that could be rolled into a settlement agreement. The settlement agreement would take practical precedence over the license without impinging. This is a question, just to make sure I understand this correctly, that the owner could still maintain her Class A license even though she isn't using all of the provisions of it, but preserving the commercial value should she end up selling the license later. But the settlement agreement for no singles or miniatures, the shorter hours, and et cetera, would take precedence. Is that correct?
Um, that is something that we will, I don't know that question for you.
Okay, but
Um,
we would
we,
work that out in the settlement agreement process.
it would have to be worked out during the settlement agreement. But
Thank you.
I will also just comment that this is an APCA license. So it is not involving what the store is selling as far as groceries or approval of her business plan that is outside the scope of an APCA application.
But
Um,
but the hours are within the scope,
the hours are within the scope. The
and the
type of
nature of
liquors,
singles or miniatures is
yes,
within the
all
scope.
that can be within scope, um, but as far as like what she's selling, as far as daily rations or what daily produce or whatever it is, that is not within the scope of this discussion.
Yes.
Um, Mr. Marks?
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. I just wanted to, I mean, I'm a resident, a member of the residents at Gallery Place. Our condos, we have 5 downtown condos in Penn Quarter and Chinatown, and I wanted to express solidarity with the people that live in those 2 condo buildings south of us in Penn Quarter. Uh, it's a danger to the entire, if this license is issued without limiting the hours, for 2 reasons. First of all, the Capital One Arena is increasingly becoming an entertainment venue. Yeah, the Capitals and the Wizards and the Mystics mean a lot, but increasingly it's becoming an entertainment venue with some of those, with young people coming from like all over the DMV, I would hate to have like extended hours. I see Central Liquors on the average, like on Sunday night, they close at 7 p.m., for example, Central Liquors. On Wednesday night, they close at like 8 p.m. But the average is 9 p.m. So this is like, we don't want rowdiness in our community. This liquor store has the possibility of introducing a level of rowdiness we're not used to. Second, that's all. Thank you.
Yeah,
Bye.
I just want to repeat, this is not a liquor store. This is not being marketed to us as a liquor store. It's a daily market is what it's being marketed as. But I hear what you're saying, Howard. Okay, Thomas.
Okay, and there's one more hand up. Should we take that, or should we just proceed with the
I
motion?
called it at the last one at Mr. Marks.
Okay, in that case, let me make a motion to protest this application until we can arrive at a settlement agreement with the applicant.
Second.
All those in favor?
Are we designating Thomas as the commission's representative in this matter?
Yes, we should do that, but I can't see. I'm sorry, I can't see.
Jim.
I can't see Jim's hand. Or Jim, if you can just tell us.
His hand is up. His hand was up.
His hand is up. Okay, there you are, Jim. You disappeared from my screen. Okay, gotcha.
Well,
Gotcha.
let me just say my hand is up. I support this. Absolutely. I think it's an endangerment to the people who live there. And so it may force this person to do something else. I really don't care. Just like it has been stated that people don't necessarily live downtown to put up with downtown, but also to change it for the better. And I think
so
my fellow ANC commissioners know exactly what I mean.
4-0-0 is the vote on this. So that is the vote to protest the license. And I would move that we designate Thomas as the designee to represent the commission in the protest.
And I obviously, Michael, you will provide Thomas with whatever document templates and procedural support that he may need.
That is correct. Yes.
To execute this.
Yes.
Do we need to vote on that?
There a second?
So
Yeah.
I second it.
And it's a seconded vote. And all those in favor?
Yes.
Okay.
I should abstain, shouldn't I?
No, you can vote.
You
but
can
if you
vote
want to
for it.
abstain, you can.
No, yes, that's fine. I'll vote yes.
You're voting yes. Okay, 4-0-0 for that. I would like to modify the motion because we have to be very particular about the reason for the protest, and I apologize that I didn't catch this initially, but Thomas, may I modify? I would move to modify the motion to protest the license until a settlement agreement is reached. I would propose that we move to protest the license until a settlement agreement is reached, but we are protesting on the establishment of peace, order, quiet, including noise and litter provision set forth in the section 25-725 and section 25-726.
Second.
Okay, and all those in favor?
Uh,
Got it. Four, and I can't see. I don't know why my screen is flipping, but okay, you're
Aye.
up. All four up. Okay, got it. So when we craft the letter, we do have to be very specific in putting that verbiage in the protest letter on the reason for the protest. And the idea is to reach a settlement agreement. I just as a point of reference, thank all the residents for joining us this evening in this process. Thomas will be reaching out to get a representative from your groups. We encourage you to submit your protest letters of 5 or more to this process. If you do not meet the deadline and have the signatures of the folks, you will not make standing in in front of the APCA board. So I encourage you to make sure that you meet the deadline and you have people who are living in the building provide the protest and follow the process that APCA has on their website, because I've seen numerous groups get knocked out because they use a word like adjacent or something and they're not, and they get knocked out, or they don't have people that are living in the building. So they are very critical of that. And secondly, I just want to indicate that it is in the best interest of all parties involved that a settlement agreement be reached. It is very, very challenging for a protest to go through without a business being opened and having concrete evidence that what we've discussed here tonight will actually be admissible in this process and not just something that is theorized. So I just want to make sure that folks are aware of that. And finally, if just to let folks know that if the ANC reaches a settlement agreement and the settlement agreement is put forward to the APCA board, it will knock out all other protests in the process. So I encourage you to work together with Thomas to coordinate the settlement agreement. Okay. That's my little suggestion for folks. Awesome. Any other questions? Awesome. We'll now move forward. We're skipping number 3 on our agenda, which is facilities concession services, and we're moving on to number 4 on our agenda, Passion F&B Homer LLC. This is at 601 13th Street Northwest. This is Abra 136381. And do I have Cameron?
Yes.
Oh, you
good
do.
afternoon.
Hi, Cameron. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
Good. We haven't seen you for a while. It's good to see
Yes,
you.
it's good to be back. I can just give a brief overview and then
Yes,
and introduce the establishment. Okay, so this concerns tavern license application run by Passion F&B Inc., who will operate 2 hospitality concepts from the same retail premises located at the Homer building on the corner of F Street Northwest and 13th Street Northwest. The first concept, Revelry, will operate as an upscale cocktail bar and lounge offering a curated beverage program featuring craft cocktails, premium spirits, champagne, and wine. Revelry will also provide a menu of small plates and tapas-style food items designed for bar and lounge service. The second concept, Trescent, will operate as a high-end formal fine dining restaurant offering a chef-driven modern Indian tasting menu experience. And Trescent will provide full table service and a comprehensive wine and beverage program. Both concepts will be operated from a single commercial kitchen within the licensed retail unit and will share back of the house facilities. Food will be prepared on site and served to patrons in designated dining and lounge areas within the premises. And if anybody looks this up, although there's nothing on this location yet, the Dubai affiliate Tresn Studio is a 3 Michelin star fine dining restaurant, just to give you an idea of the kind of experience that we're talking about here.
Excellent. And are they occupying what are they occupying? What property are they occupying?
It's called the Homer Building.
The Homer Building, and is it right on the corner? Is it where I'm trying to think what might have been there before.
Let me see if the unit is specified.
Yeah, I just can't picture where I mean the building is a huge building, so I just can't picture where they would go. And it's for 200 folks seating, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Got it.
But it is, as of course, split between 2 distinct areas.
Yeah.
With let me see the total square footage, according to their lease is approximately 9,300 square feet.
Got it. Got it. That's great. Are there any questions regarding did you say you had the owner here?
No, if not able to provide
that's okay.
I can take back any questions that
that's fine. Any questions, commissioners? Hearing no questions, I like to send, do you need a stipulated license?
No, opening is not anticipated until the end of this year at the earliest.
Okay. I like to move that we send a letter of support for Passion F&B Homer LLC, Abra 136381.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Groff. All those in favor? And now Thomas is missing from my screen. Sorry,
He
Thomas.
has his hand raised.
He has his hand raised. I don't know why he keeps moving around on my screen. I'm so sorry, guys.
Michael, there's only 4 of us. You should just do a quick roll call.
I know. I should just do a quick roll call. Okay, so we'll get that off for you, Cameron, and we'll copy you on that as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night.
Thank you. Next on our agenda is Natty and Boom DC. This is trade name Sorn Thai, and this is at 1800. I'll get this out. 1800 M Street. This is Abra 136480. This is for a new retailer's Class C license. Do I have anybody from the establishment on with us this evening?
It's me.
Hi, Chrissy. How are you?
Oh, this is hello.
Oh, hi. Oh,
Yes.
Hi there, Chrissy.
How are you? This is Chrissy Chang. Yeah. Hello?
Yeah, yes, we got you.
Oh, yes.
Fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, very nice to meet you all. I have the business owners, applying for this new CR license, and the restaurant will be a family-friendly, authentic Thai restaurant. And I'd like you to meet Miss Supisa Tibut. The owner is right here with us. As one of the owners, she will be responsible for restaurant operations. She's ready to provide information on this new restaurant, and she must be very happy to answer all the questions.
Awesome.
Her
Thank
name
you
is
very much.
Supisa. Yes.
Suvisa, how are you?
Good. You. Thank you.
Good. Tell us
Yeah.
about your restaurant.
Yeah, my name is Supisa Tiaput, and then on behalf of Natty and Boom Group, Inc., DC, trading as Son Thai, um, my husband and I are a major owner of Natty and Boom DC, Inc. As the owner, I'm glad to have this opportunity to meet you all. In February 2027, we are trying to open this food restaurant, Son Thai, on the ground floor at 1800 M Street Northwest, at the corner of 18th Street, with a space of 4,095 square feet. And we will accommodate approximately 150 seats indoor and 12 seats in the outdoor area, which is a private property. In the park card, the seating number for indoor is under 100, but we will collect it. In this restaurant inspired by my family recipe and the flavor of southern Thailand. We will offer authentic Thai cuisine made with fresh ingredient and traditional cooking technique. Currently, we own and operate a Thai restaurant with the same trade name in McLean, Virginia, in Chesterbrook Shopping Center. Since the opening in McLean 2025, Son Thai has become known for its warm hospitality and a vibrant atmosphere and commitment to sharing Thai culture to food. This McLean location has been recognized by a local and regional publication for its culinary excellence and dedication to the community. We are very excited to open this new location to create a welcoming gathering place where guests can enjoy high quality food, exceptional service, and genius Thai dining experience in DC. Since it will be a family-friendly restaurant serving lunch and dinner for all ages, we will close at 10 p.m. every day, every night, and will not provide any live entertainment. Yep. That should do
Excellent.
it.
That's great. Thank you very much. Are you going to be, just out of curiosity, are you taking over the daily grill space?
That used to be
On the corner.
on the corner next to Talking Taco. I
Yes.
don't know what
She's
Capitol,
on the other side of
Capitol
M, I believe.
Oh, it's on the other side of M. Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
used to be the bank,
Gotcha.
Capital One Bank.
Oh, Capital One Bank. I gotcha. Oh, I know where you're at. I know where you're at. Terrific. Awesome. Commissioner Groth.
Yes, you'll be in my single member district, so welcome to the neighborhood. This is exciting because I love Thai food and so this is the best. I'm relieved that you're going to be closing at 10 p.m. and not being part of the club scene across M Street activity necessarily. Will you front on M next to the Talking Taco, or
Yeah,
are
next
you
to the
more
Talking
in
Taco.
that interior space?
Next to the Talking Taco. Next door,
Okay.
right?
And you're looking at 12 seats for Summer Garden. That would be on the Sidewalk Cafe, right?
On the building entrance.
Okay, so the Sidewalk Cafe would be on the M Street side also.
It's on the property side, not on the street when you walk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because they renovated that whole big office building and there's kind of a big insert on the corner there. So you'll be on
Yes.
that bump in. Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Mr. Groth, do you have a motion for us?
Yes, I move that we send an enthusiastic letter of support for Natty and Boom DC Inc. trade name Soren Thai, ABRA number 136480.
Is there a second?
When are you going to open, and do you need a stipulated license? I can put that in my motion also. Oh, you said not until 27.
Yeah.
Yeah,
After
next
the
year,
first of the year.
February.
Okay, great.
Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Lee. All those in favor? So I have four commissioners voting in favor of that. We'll get that letter out for you. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here and
you.
welcome to ANC2C. And
Thank
thank
you so
you,
much.
Ms. Chang. I appreciate you being here and nice to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Yes,
Thank
exactly.
you. Yes. Okay. Have a great evening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. Next on our agenda is we'll move over to transportation and public space. We have Lamidi Sidewalk Cafe at 1100 New York Avenue. And do we have, I see we have
Yeah.
is it Mr. Lee or Sue Lee?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Hi, good, thank you. Good, thank you. Thank you for being here for us. You're the expediter for this establishment.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I'm just gonna quickly just share the screen for you. And I believe this is in uh who's I think this is in my commission. Is that correct? A
I think it is.
2C01, yes. Oops. At 1100 New York. Am I sharing the screen, folks? Can you
Yes,
see it?
you are.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. Thank you for that. Do you want to just walk through what they're looking to do?
For this application, oh, hi, everyone. For this application, we only apply for a sidewalk cafe. The restaurant permit already permitted for the interior. Yes. So roughly about 300 seating for the inside. The exterior, we do the sidewalk cafe for both sides of the front, which is face 11th Street. Even though the address is on New York Avenue, but the sidewalk cafe is on the 11th Street side. For the sidewalk cafe, we have roughly about 565 square feet total in length and width, with about 30 seats. Within all of this 30 seats, we have 3 ADA seats. For this sidewalk, originally we asked for almost double the size of the seating, but DDOT was saying because it's on major working traffic, so we gave it a 10-feet clearance to the closest planter. As you can see up on the circle, you see the planter, the rectangular box. So from the edge of the sidewalk cafe to that edge of the planter, we give it 10 feet clearance. So it's plenty of walk-in traffic.
Yes.
With all of that landscape that we put out there with inside the sidewalk cafe area, we do have some planter, which is very pretty. This is an unenclosed sidewalk cafe, no umbrella, just table and chairs.
Great. I totally support outdoor dining. And I think that's totally terrific. Commissioners, do you have any questions?
This is the old Capital City Brewing site. Is that correct, Miss Lee?
I'm not sure about the existing site before the restaurant.
Okay, all right.
Any other questions, commissioners?
I'm just curious about Le Midi. What I assume this is a French cafe. Is that bistro kind of a level or higher end or somewhere in between, or?
It's a French bistro type of restaurant. You can say it's a full established restaurant.
Okay.
I do have a question. Is this the restaurant that is going into that entire building? That is a French restaurant, and it also has that space on H Street that Michael is referring to that goes all the way back.
Correct. But the sidewalk cafe is on the 11th Street side. It's not on H.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's just connected to that same restaurant that will be opening this fall?
Yes.
Okay.
Awesome.
So it's kind of on the order of
Yeah, I can't think of
the other. It's yeah, in George, not
can't think of the
Georgetown,
name of
but
the yeah, I can't think of the name of the restaurant that
okay.
was
So
there.
this will be part of that uh, huge place then,
Yes.
similar to Le Diplomat.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. And what will the hours be?
It would be from 8 to 12 midnight.
Terrific. I like to move that we send a letter of support for this establishment.
Awesome.
Second.
Seconded by, I believe that was Commissioner Lee.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. And all those in favor? For some reason, I can't see any of you, and I don't know why. I'm
Roll
having
call.
problems tonight. Okay, so
Thomas.
maybe that's, oh, here's my thing. Here it is. Okay, I got it. I figured it out. We're almost at the end of the meeting, and I figured it out. So all those in favor? All right. So I have four commissioners in favor of that. So we'll get that off for you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for your approval. Thank you so much and have a great night.
Thank you. You too.
Bye-bye.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Okay. I don't know why I just couldn't figure that out until just now. Next we have on our agenda, we have an HSIP safety improvement, and this is at 14th Street Northwest, and this is NOI 26172 MSED. Do we have anybody from, oh, there you are, Miss Kelly. You're
Hi.
on here. Yes,
Hi,
exactly.
everyone. Actually, we have two NOI, so we
Yes,
can
you
do
have
it together. Okay, perfect.
two together here. So I'm just looking for the NOI here a second so I can pull that up for us.
Sure.
Michael, if you can forward it to me once you find both of them, I don't have them.
Yeah, I can send it to you too. If you don't mind, can I share my screen? Because I
Please,
can
you
go
may share
back
your
to
screen,
map.
please.
Yeah,
Yes, you may share your screen, please.
Thank you. Am I being promoted to the?
Oh, you should be able to share.
I don't see it yet. Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Okay. Oops. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
I'll start with the first NOI, which is for 14th Street and New York Avenue. So we are making two changes here. So let me just go back to the map because it's more visual. So we're making changes only on this side of 14th Street. So currently there is a nighttime parking available. So if you go to the actual map, you will see no parking from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., meaning 7 p.m. to overnight, parking is free. So the issue is because of that, we are not able to utilize this. I'm sorry, let me go back to so fully. So we are trying to put the arrow markings. Currently, there's no markings. So, cars are everywhere. So we are putting those straight arrow markings for 2 lanes, and the right lane for right turn and through. So we are fully utilizing this area for the left turn queuing area. So we are removing about 3 parking spaces here. So for example, if you go back, so let me fall back. So we are facing south right now. So we are removing about like 1, 2, 3 space, maybe up to where this entrance is right here. Oops. That way we can put this right turn and through arrow markings, have enough queuing space. Because we see lots of traffic, especially during nightlife activities. So we want to make sure that we have safe space because we don't want people to make right turn from the middle lane. So that's the safety purpose. Also, we are adding no right turn on red. For some reason, only this approach doesn't have that sign. So we want to make sure entire intersection has the same consistent regulation. I'm sorry, why is it not showing? So we're going to add no turn on red sign here so that all four corners have the same sign.
Got it.
So go back to remind. So we're putting no turn on red sign and removing 3 parking space and arrow markings for the drivers. Any questions?
Thank you.
That looks fairly straightforward to me. Definitely.
That's a horrible intersection.
Yeah, it's difficult, especially, yes.
Because just the angles and everything, there's just too many blind things.
Yes.
And yes, the turning right from the middle lane and as a pedestrian trying to go southbound there's just no way to be seen or to even see who you're trying to dodge. So thank you.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for your support. Just quick background. So we came up with these 2 locations. We're going to do another NOI. Those intersections were identified through our data-driven process. Basically, because of the traffic pattern, crash pattern, we realized those intersections need something. So the team analyzed the traffic history and realized, oh, there's lots of right turn traffic there, but there's no designated lane. That's how we came up with this idea.
Got it. Is there any commissioners, do you have any questions that you'd like to ask? Or is there any community members that have any questions they would like to ask? All right.
I move to send a letter of support for NOI number 26-172-MSED.
I would be happy to second that. And all those in favor? I'm going to call it out because I can't see right now. Commissioner Groth?
Yes.
Commissioner Lee?
Yes.
Commissioner Swart?
He's muted himself.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha. And I will vote yes for that. So that's 4-0-0 on that. Okay, excellent. Thank you very much.
So I'll move to the next one.
Yes, this is at an HSIP safety improvement at 10th Street in Massachusetts. This is NOI 26-170 MSED.
Yes. So this is the NOI. I'm happy to share the PDF again with all the commissioners, but it's also available on the public portal. So you can go to, noi.d.dc.gov and you can search. It's loading. We have actually great function. You can do it by ANC actually. So you can click ANC to see, and then you will only see available active. You see the map here. You just see. Yeah, it's loading a little slow here, but you can click this and you're able to see and download the NOI. It's public website, which is great. So I'll also share the website address as well.
I always forget, and I'm looking for them in TOPS, and they're not there. So
yeah, TOPS is all the permits. So we have too many great websites, but it's everywhere. So we're actually trying to put it in the one space. But yeah, this is great. So I will definitely share with you. Okay. Yeah, thank you. So let's also go to the map because it's easier to understand. It's a lot of explanation what we are doing, but I can explain with the map. So let me zoom in. It's a little slow, so please bear with me. Okay, I will. So I'm sorry. Okay, there you go. We have quite a few changes here, so please stop me whenever you have any questions. So this is Mass Avenue and 10th Street intersection, and we are making some changes on this block, one small block on 10th Street between Mass Avenue and L. The the first thing is we are switching the bike lane and parking lane. So currently there's only the painted bike lane. So we are putting the bike lane to the curb, and we are putting those little block and flex posts to perfectly protect the bike lane. And then we are putting the parking outside so that we can protect the bike lane. And there will be two travel lane. This black kind of a gore area, it's going to be yellow color. So it'll be a yellow kind of center line, but it's wider because we don't want to have a wide traffic lane. So we want to have kind of a, just decent amount of travel lane instead of wide. So to have that, we are removing those two parking spaces on the side. Actually, it's very awkwardly located parking. It's a meter, but this parking is actually illegal. I mean, it's kind of wrong parking space. It's too close to crosswalk, so it shouldn't be there because it's just not, it doesn't make sense. So we're removing those two parking spaces to make it fully one travel lane. So that's big change for this block. Any questions here before I move to the next block?
That's right outside.
Those parking, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Those parking spaces, when there's cars parked there, it blocks pedestrian view of the traffic and traffic view of the pedestrians. So yes, please take them all away.
Thank you. It's only two spaces, yes.
And this is right outside the electrical station, the Pepco station.
Yeah, it's just some loading dock. I can maybe.
Yeah, the loading dock of the station. Yes, that's right.
I can show the screw strip if that helps.
Yeah,
it's this one space where the Wi-Fi is totally illegal. So I think we put it wrong. So this should be gone. And there are two spaces between these two loading dock or the garage access, but also it's blocking the garage access view. And cars are frequently parked outside the box, also blocking the, visibility. So we decided to remove.
Yes.
Okay, the next one is, oops, it's very slow.
So this is the north side of the street, north side of Massachusetts.
Yes. Yep, north side of Mass. Okay, a little more. South side of Mass Avenue is very small change, just to have, because just remember, so north side of Mass Avenue, only one travel lane, right? But for some reason, south of Mass, we have two or three. So we want to make sure it's not confusing. So we are adding, I'm sorry, why is it so slow? Okay. Oops. I'm dragging it, but it's not moving. Please bear with me. There. Okay. So again, only one travel lane, but it becomes two travel lane. So we are making it just one lane only. So I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is parking lane is still there, and two travel lane, which is kind of confusing. So one becomes two. So we are just blocking those one section to make it just consistent. So we're not going to see any like concrete barrier, but it's going to be just gore marking and just a few flex posts so that people know that you're not supposed to enter. Also, it provides some, not protection, but visual protection for the pedestrian. So the crossing distance will be shortened only for this portion. So it's also pedestrian safety improvement as well. And since we are removing bike lane to the curb on the north side, we want to have those painted parking guidelines so that cyclists can, continue to follow instead of entering travel lane, and they can safely go back to the painted bike lane on the south side. So not a big change. This is more for kind of a smooth transition from the change.
I'm not certain I understand. So the ways where you have the one-way sign, that lane, will that lane still be there?
Yes, still there. But then when you enter, we don't want cars to just, and they don't know which one to enter. So we don't want to just avoid the confusion. So just when you enter only one travel lane, if you want, you can just go to that side.
Got it.
Yeah. We're not removing any.
I always thought that that was confusing down
Yeah.
through anyway,
Mhm.
because it goes back to one lane then.
Exactly. Okay.
On the other, after you cross the block to city center side, you go to
Oh, I
lane
see.
in each direction.
Okay. Any?
Okay, commissioners, do you have any questions?
I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Um, what is in front of what businesses and or activity are in that block you intend to close or intend to?
We're not closing anything. Maybe
Mhm.
you're confused on this area where we put the core marking or the parking removal.
Isn't that the think tank building on the south side of Mass Ave that's across from the convention center?
The Cato Institute.
Cato Institute.
Cato Institute. I was blanking on the name.
Yeah, for this south side, we're not removing any parking. We're just
Okay.
changing the just visual just to improve the pedestrian crossing,
Okay.
remove the confusion.
Okay. Because there was some concern on the 11th Street side.
Yes.
Some months ago, that's still an ongoing issue.
Right.
Basically because the bus lanes
bus lane, yep.
are engulfing the whole area, and it doesn't really make sense to the people who live there and have restaurants there, etc.
I see.
But this in no way interferes with any of that on the 10th Street side. I'm assuming.
Yeah, those two are separate, so.
Great.
And there's no running this activity by any of the local businesses there.
Not that I know of, because for here we're not removing any parking, so there shouldn't be any impact. And on the north side, we are removing parking, but there's no business. It's just all the loading dock. It's actually by removing the parking, whoever used the loading dock will be like more beneficial because it's not blocking anything. Yeah.
Okay, fine then.
That's the Pepco substation there. It's not a
Oh, I
business.
see.
Yes. I'd like to move that we send a letter of support for this NOI.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Groff. All those in favor, will you please say aye?
Aye.
Did I hear Thomas?
He's muted.
He's muted.
He's on mute.
Aye.
Okay, good. 4-0-0. I heard everyone else but Thomas. Okay, 4-0-0. We got you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you being here, Kelly.
Of course. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
You too. We'll move on to other business. And I believe Commissioner Groth, you were presenting this.
Yes, I do not have a resolution written yet because I've been in a quandary as to how to communicate effectively with the U.S. Attorney's Office. As most of us know, adult prosecutions are done by the federal U.S. Attorney in the District of Columbia, not the D.C. Attorney General. But I spoke with somebody in the D.C. Attorney General's office yesterday, hoping that they had a good contact, which it sounds like they do not. So I don't think there's a huge hurry on this. Just the background of this: July 1st, 2026, as Lieutenant Garvin referenced earlier in the meeting, in the 1200 block of H Street, actually near the corner of 13th and H by the Wawa, a robbery snatch happened from a person using a wheelchair. And they were able to catch the person, and he's under arrest. But there is in the District of Columbia separate laws and penalties for crimes against vulnerable adults. And just on the principle of the thing, and because I'm in a somewhat unique position to represent the issue for safety in our commission, I'm willing to carry this forward to try to get the U.S. Attorney to actually charge the person with the additional penalty for a crime against a vulnerable adult. So if anyone has input into the resolution that I will be writing. I'll probably bring it in August for a vote.
Would there be any reason why they wouldn't bring that charge?
It wouldn't occur to them.
Oh, I mean, have they charged the person?
I'm also trying to deal with the learning curve of finding out the status of anything in the system, which
Got it.
I'm currently frustrated with.
Okay. So we'll table this matter?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll table this
If I
matter.
discover that they have already levied the additional charges, then we need not pass a resolution. And even if we do, the U.S. attorney is not obligated to give us great weight, I don't believe, under the law, but we can at least state the principle.
Yes. I'll let you go head to head with her.
All I have to do is convince Janine Pirro. That's all.
That's it. Okay. And Commissioner Groth, you asked if anybody was interested in providing you with input. Commissioners, will you please reach out to Commissioner Groth if you have input in that?
Or anyone from the public that you may know that may be interested in this. And 2C02@anc.dc.gov.
Okay. Next item we have is the shelter at 1009 11th Street. And I received some emails regarding the shelter. This is where the women's shelter initially that was on 5th Street moved to as they were renovating 5th Street. They have posted a new notice. Community residents noticed this. I'm glad you did, because we received no notice of this that I'm aware of, that they are wanting to make that a women's shelter again. And they're doing some construction, some building, it looks like, related to that, but they posted a notice regarding that. Are there any community members that want to talk to this matter?
Yeah, I would love to if I could.
Christopher, please.
Yeah, my name is Christopher Ratzak. I own my condo at 1010 Mass, which is right next door to 1009 11th. And I actually live on the second floor, right on the corner of the building closest to 1009 11th. So I've lived here I bought my condo 15 years ago. For my first 8.5 years here, the building was operated as a hostel. Obviously, they closed down during the pandemic. It became the swing space for the shelter and really had a significant negative impact to the quality of life living here. You know, in 8.5 years of it being a hostel, which of course has a bunch of people in dense quarters because it's a hostel, I think there were maybe 3 emergency vehicles there 3 times in 8.5 years. Once it became the shelter, we could count on multiple emergency vehicles with their lights flashing through our windows basically every single day of the week. The rules of the shelter are that the residents are not allowed to be inside during certain hours. So things will happen like constantly going to the bathroom in the alley between our 2 buildings underneath the windows that I look out. And worst of all, as there were constantly issues with people fighting, loitering, going to the bathroom, etc., shelter management was completely non-responsive. So, you know, we tried numerous times while they were there to get proper contacts to say, you know, could someone do something? Because of course they have multiple security people on staff at all times. And apparently their policy is out of sight, out of mind. As long as something is happening outside their building, you know, it's not their problem. So I'm not sure what can be done, but you know, I'm very disappointed that the city is going to leave us with this situation once again.
Got it. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And so the shelter was not the management wasn't responsive, and I understand that the security folks, according to my knowledge of the situation in other situations like this, the security don't have any jurisdiction outside of the four walls of the shelter, which makes no sense to me, but that's the current law. And you reference fighting and loitering and the bathroom use um, issue in the alleyway. I see John has his hand up. John Smith. I will ask. Okay, maybe that was a mistake, or he cannot unmute. Any other
Yeah, I'm quite concerned that DHS has not been in communication with us about
Yes.
their plans.
Gotta get on
The
here.
post in the
I
window.
want us to put our hand up and talk, but I don't.
What do you want to say?
That we're
You're
approved.
you're on now, John.
Yep. No, it's I think
Go to
Robert
more. See what
Robert.
more
Yes.
says. Unmute. Yeah.
Excuse me. This
Yes.
is Robert Ames.
Yes.
My wife and I are residents of 1010 Mass. We've been there for approximately 10 years. We too would vigorously state our opposition to reopening of the building as a shelter. It was a really unfortunate experience, despite our support for providing care to homeless people and to people going through those situations that the women who were housed there were experiencing. The loitering, the littering, the constant drug abuse outside in that facility, the fact that there's a restaurant there that's part of the Marriott property next to it. That restaurant closed because the residents would sit on the steps to the entrance of that residence, I mean, that restaurant all day. There's another restaurant that recently opened there that I think would be severely negatively impact if this shelter was to be reestablished there. Then, not the least, was the rat infestation that occurred there in the building. They utilized two dumpsters that were parked in our alleyway in the back, which were constantly overflowing and therefore were just a rat magnet for that area. It's just a really intolerable situation, and that's just a location that is not conducive to having a shelter placed at it. And, I would contrast that with the situation not too far away on the north side of Massachusetts with Ruth's Place, which is near 14th Street, et cetera, which seems to be run without the same type of disruption to the local residents and the community. I'm not fully conversant in and how they've dealt with it, but I notice in our walks over in that area a discernible difference between the management of that facility and what we experienced with the shelter there on 11th Street. And
Thank
again, we would greatly appreciate the commissioners stating their opposition to reopening that facility as a shelter.
Yes. Thank you for that, Mr. Ames. I see that Mr. Smith has put in the chat he is having problems unmuting, and wanted to say that city government has repeatedly lied about the length of the use of this as a shelter the first time. and they have proven to be dishonest and evasive um, in this problem, this situation. He's also a resident of 1010 Mass as well. Commissioner Groff, did you have something else you wanted to add?
No, I just think we need to start a very urgent conversation with DHS.
Yes.
First of all, as to why we have not been
Yes.
party to this conversation.
Yes.
David Ross, who we used to deal with, is no longer at DHS, and Rachel A.D. Pierre is now the director. I would also note that I think it's July 24th, coming right up, is Chairman Mendelson's quarterly ANC Zoom meeting with DHS Director Pierre. So I was planning to be there anyway. I found that to be an enormously effective forum for raising one's little Zoom hand and saying, "Well, we have you here."
Yes.
But we need to lay the groundwork for that now.
Yes.
Somehow.
I agree, because he asked for comments in advance or questions in advance or things in advance.
But just we need to open the conversation rather than without an ambush, but with a resolution or some kind of stern, urgent starting of a conversation.
Right.
One thing, just in case it's helpful to you, I had reached out to Brooke Pinto's office. They told me that DHS had no record of it, and they then believed maybe it was because it was being sublet through N Street Village, et cetera. So that's the other challenge, just in case that's helpful to you, where I'm trying to figure out, is it officially the city or is it the city through another organization? So
N
FYI.
Street Village, as it is the operator, the management company, if you will, for a number of city facilities as well as their own. So it may be their own. If it's N Street within their own management, N Street is actually the gold standard for their flagship is 2 blocks from my apartment, and no one in this neighborhood even knows it's there. There's spectacularly no problems. Beautifully run women's space. So there's a lot of possibilities here.
I see Commissioner Swart's hand is up.
Yeah, if I might add, related to this location and this shelter, it is a low barrier shelter, meaning there are no drug testing, no alcohol testing. There are people coming in, first come, first served basis, with very little standards to meet, and then they are put out and released in the daytime, and they're not in there at all. They're in the community, and that's a problem as well. So this is a shelter that is low barrier. Again, that means there's no alcohol testing, no drug testing, very few rules and regulations that people have to uphold to a standard.
Chair Schenkel, the structure was a low barrier shelter with all of those characteristics. We at this moment do not know whether it's going to be city run and operated, N Street Village run and operated. There's a lot of unknowns here, so I very much appreciate the concerns. And we urgently need to find out what we're even dealing with before.
And the posting that is on the door does not include a date of when it was posted either. Okay, so just to give the commissioners some background, I think this is Commissioner Swart's area now.
It is, yes.
It is, right. Previously, when this was in my ANC, this happened behind our view. We were not notified of this, and they converted the shelter they converted the hostel into the shelter, and there was lots of contention regarding this, and we were told this would not happen again, and they would be more transparent. Well, here we are again.
Yeah.
I would like to ask. I would like to ask. I would like to move. I guess. So here, let me tell you what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that we should send a letter of opposition for this shelter in this location, and we should cite these areas that were repeated concerns previously, and that would include, or in the previous iteration of this, the bathrooms and going to the bathroom in the alley, shelter management not being responsive, um, rodent issues, loitering, all of those things that we just heard here this evening related to that. And we should ask DHS or DHHS to respond to this. The posting on the door is Department of Building. So I think we should also send that to the Department of Building because I don't know, I don't understand why they would be posting this. I don't understand.
Michael, a friendly amendment. At the
Please.
very beginning of your motion, could we frame it as we oppose any use of this structure as a low barrier shelter, citing the previous history?
Okay.
On the off chance that it's an N Street, going to be an N Street satellite for one of their specialty populations.
Got it.
Which would be a completely different permanent supportive housing
right
use that we oppose any low barrier use of this structure.
Got it. I will accept that amendment.
Thank you.
Yeah, I agree that low barrier is key again because there's just no dealing very effectively with the problems that people are having.
Right.
Especially drug and alcohol use.
Yes. Yes. So with all that said, I would then officially like to move that we send a letter of opposition for this low barrier shelter at this location based on all the feedback and history that we have had previously, and the fact that the ANC was not notified and the buildings were not notified, which are directly impacted by this.
I think that's great.
Again, we're not necessarily presuming that we know that it's a low barrier shelter because we do not.
Right.
We oppose any use as a low barrier shelter.
Yes, any use as a low barrier shelter. Period.
Exactly, because we don't know because they haven't informed us.
Yeah, which is its own problem.
Yes.
Is there any way? Oh, I'm sorry. Is there any way that I can? Okay, got it. Is there a second on that? I'm sorry.
I second it.
Seconded by Commissioner Swart. All those in favor? So 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that. We'll get that letter off.
Michael, will you be drafting this letter?
Yeah, I can draft this letter because I think, and I'll share it with you all to make sure that I have captured everything correctly.
I have contacts within N Street Village world also. I can make some inquiries.
Yes.
As well.
Also what I can do is check out some of the history in this past year and a half or 2 years because this was a temporary facility because of some closures of others.
Yeah, it was a swing
And
space.
yeah, so I'll do that for you.
And then it went to a men's shelter for a little bit.
Right.
Well,
Well,
no,
that
I
one
say a
was,
little bit, a shortened period of time,
yes, yes.
which was not
Mhm.
good by any
Correct.
means. Okay. And Mr. Rathsack, yeah, absolutely. I would love to have your support um, in in working around this issue. So I have your email address. I will reach out to you. Okay. Okay, got it. Okay. Um, thank you all so much, and thank you for bringing this issue to our concern. This is really important in this process. Um, na- Finally, we have a letter to write a letter of condolence for the World Kitchen. And Thomas, do you want to?
Yeah, the Jose Andres is a leader in our community, and he started a charity a few years ago to feed uh, communities around the world that are facing crises. And a few days ago, one of his drivers was shot and killed. And this is while he was in the process of delivering aid to a hungry population. And this follows another incident, 2 years ago, where 9 members of his organization were basically bombed. We didn't write a letter of condolence then, but I think it's time that we send him send a letter of condolence and recognize him for the good work that he does for our community as well as around the world. I've shared a draft. I put it in your inbox. Please take a look at it. We can wordsmith it here and there. It's a working draft, but if everyone is so inclined, like to finalize this draft and send it off. I did reach out to the office of ANC to see whether we could send a small donation, but we cannot. So
Okay.
yeah, we can't. So I won't. So I'll leave that out. But this is a motion to send a letter of condolence to Jose Andres and his team at World Central Kitchen, lamenting the loss of life of several members of his team.
I would second that. And all those in favor?
Aye.
So,
Aye.
or commissioners voting in favor of that.
Don't forget the treasurer's report.
Yep.
Yes, right here. So we have the June, June 2026 ANCTC monthly treasurer's report. We have an opening balance of $64,365.40. We have a closing report balance of $24,365.40. A net change of $40,000, which we moved into a premium business money market account that is now earning us interest. And I think in the last month we earned I think $83 in interest. Yeah. And then so that is the monthly treasurer's report. And
Thomas, are we
yes.
going to somehow adapt the monthly report so that we have a consolidated between both accounts balance? Because that would be the overall balance for the commission.
Yes, so we have, it looks like the OANC, they've amended their quarterly financial report page to allow for, there's an additional line item here that accounts
Okay.
for that. Yeah.
On the quarterly, just not on the monthly.
This is my first month.
Right. Right.
If we need
It's
to, I will
already-
ask them to. I'll ask them to add that to the monthly as well.
Okay.
So for the quarterly financial report, this is for ANC2C quarterly financial report, fiscal year 2026, quarter three. We received an allotment of $0 for this quarter. Total funds available during this quarter was $65,415.40. I wrote a check for $675 for a grant to Chinatown, related to the folks over at Chinatown community, for I guess it was the use of a community space during the Lunar New Year celebration. We made $375 purchase of service. That was for minute services, and then there was the $40,000 that was transferred to our savings account, high yield savings account. So total disbursement of $41,050. So that leads us to the ending balance in checking of $24,365.40, and a new ending balance for our savings of $40,000 and $40,083.05. And I will send this out to you all for e-signatures.
Does that get totaled?
It doesn't show a total here, but I guess I can write in a total.
No, don't modify their form.
Okay.
Don't modify their form.
Why don't we email Dawn and ask her
the total.
Which color glitter do we need to put on this to?
Okay.
Green, since we're making money for ourselves.
Right.
For the taxpayer.
I would thank you, Thomas, for that. I'd like to move that we send I'm sorry. I move that we approve the quarter three quarterly financial report for ANC2C.
Pending format advice from OANC.
And I saw second by Commissioner Swart. I'm assuming that was your second.
Yes, that was my second.
Okay, got it. And all those in favor? So 4 of 4 commissioners voting in favor of that.
Early, even.
Pardon me?
Early. It's not months later.
Yes, it's early. Thank you, Thomas.
Good job, Thomas.
Can we get all that documentation in so that we can get back on track with our
allotments? Yes.
Because we are dwindling. Not that it's an issue.
Also, boy, do I hate to say this, but preparing our FY27 budget is looking right around the corner.
Yes.
So
we will have to do that in September.
Yes.
At the latest.
Okay, understood.
Which is not far away.
Yes, it's not.
When you think about it, it seems very far away. Okay. Any other items of business for this evening?
Michael, you and I need to set a work time to post stuff to if I can watch you post the video of this meeting, then I can hopefully pick that up.
Okay.
To get it done faster and easier and whatever.
Got it.
As well as showing me how to do the minutes.
Excellent. We will do that.
Okay.
Okay.
Send me a couple times you're available.
I shall do that, and we will make it happen. With that in mind, our next meeting is August 11th, 2026 at 6 p.m. It will be a hybrid meeting. It will be at MLK and online. I would just like to give a shout out to the library staff. They work some miracles. And on Monday, they came back to me and they said they were able to make a space for us to have our meeting, but it was too late for us to change at that point.
Right. Public
So
notice, public notice had already gone out, so.
but it was very nice of them to really try to identify another location in the library for us to start on time because they knew that our timing start was going to be an issue. So this next meeting, there is no issues associated with it, and I apologize in advance because I thought sure that it was the August meeting that was the problem, not the July meeting. So my bad. But the next meeting is definitely August the 11th, 6 p.m. With that in mind, I'd like to move that we adjourn our meeting.
Second.
Seconded. All right. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate you all. And I'm going to
Wait a second.
stop the
I
recording.
just have one little thing to say. It's related to I have had the captions on,
Oh,
and the captions are immediately what we say, which is pretty interesting. And then it says that I can request transcription from the host. So I don't know if that's something we could pursue later, but kind of interesting. But
Can you request transcription and see what it does?
yes,
That would be helpful. I would still think I don't mind the outside minute services because it's somebody independent of all four of us
Right.
that does the first shot at it.
And
did you receive something?
I did get a pop-up that says a participant has asked you to start a transcription. So I'm going to start it. And
okay, so we're starting it now at the end.
Well, I don't know what happened. It said okay, and then it went away. But
mine says the meeting is being transcribed.
Yeah, mine too.
Oh, I wonder if I don't know how it's going to work. But thank you for that information. I don't even know that
well, we should try starting that at the beginning in August.
Yeah. From my meeting, I did get it did generate a transcript for me.
Oh, it did.
I did. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good.
Yeah, that is good.
All right. Good to know.
Anyway, I've said whatever I had to say. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate you. Have a great rest of your evening.
Okay, sounds good. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.